Hey everybody, welcome to Indy After Dark. I am here with Bran, Rescue, Unspecified Landon and Tiff, 15th Bend, Wolf 7, and a development of a Void. And we are looking forward to hanging out with all of you tonight.
What's up,
let's just go
everybody?
ahead and start looking at this chat here, seeing who all's around. Buff, good to see you. William, it will be a damn good show. Yeah. I say that all different ways. That's the way today.
It'd be a damn good show.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt, Ozark, Queen Bee, Your Majesty, Doug,
Neil, good to see you.
Joe Norman,
Hey,
Michael
Ducks.
Songs.
Hey, Randon.
Hey, Michael.
Miss
I like
Jean.
that name.
Mayhem. Oh, Ozark, glad you're here. Ozark, I tried to send you a message on Facebook in a YouTube in a comment, but I'm not sure if it let it stay up because I was asking if you'd email me, but I would love for you to come up sometime. So my email is in the description of my channel and the description of the video. If you can email me, I'd love to figure out a time for you to come up here. Or you can be like, yeah, no, I don't want to. That's okay
Queen
too.
Survivor, Queen Survivor's in the house.
Also, like
Hey, Queen Survivor, good to see you. Garrett, good to see you.
Majik.
Hey, Skull.
Anti. Mr. Ed.
Dakota, thanks for being here. Joe, good to see you.
Miss Bonnie.
Beats 33 and D7 Eins.
Joe, I've been noticing you've been getting quite a bit of music out. I've been really loving what you've been putting out there. You have a beautiful voice.
Kim's Creations.
Hey, Kim.
Hey, Kim.
Magic.
Lady
good
Smith.
to see you. Yeah. Hey, Lady Smith. Thanks for being here.
What's up, Ozark?
Garrett, I like all the music in the chat. So how's everybody? How's your week gotten? Okay, that's not English. How's everybody doing? And how's your week going so far? Has it gotten off to a good start?
Yeah, so far so good. I'm glad to be
now
here.
it has.
Nice. Feels like a Monday.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mondays
Jen.
are always shitty. I was just saying that Mondays,
Mhm.
no matter what, Mondays are just shitty. It's just like by default.
Yeah, I had a Monday.
I had a Monday.
Yeah.
This one was a good
Pretty
one
bad.
for us down here. We finally got a little
Hey,
rain,
Michigan.
and it was actually under 100 degrees today, so it was a good
Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
We
sure that sounds
good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd much rather have it be like cooler and like bundle up weather than super hot. That's for sure. Hey, Supplanter, good to see you.
Hey, Supplanter, how's it going?
I don't know. It seems
Carl?
like for the past couple of weeks, it seems like it's just been waiting for the other shoe to fall, or like it
Mm-hmm.
feels like in between some big events.
Idalia's right
Yeah.
off the coast.
What'd you say,
I feel
Rescue?
that too.
Idalia's right off the coast.
Right.
What's up, Hoot?
Much love,
Falco.
Hoot. Thanks for being here.
Buff.
Anti, my man. How's it going?
Hey, Doug. Poppy Doug, thanks for being here.
Is that Ray? Little small fry.
Hey, Ray.
Doug
I
the
didn't
Pain
want to
Master.
say anything, but that's one of my favorite things to do is watch you two in the chat.
Camo Carl. What's up, brother? Wolverine.
Jerry Lee, it's good to see you. Wolverines.
Wolverines.
I can never tell
Oh,
quite how
that was
serious
nice.
it is.
Oh, between the Void and Ray?
Void and Ray.
Oh,
Craig the Hunter. What's up, buddy?
yeah.
Right?
Me and Ray have a love-hate relationship. He loves me, and I hate the
Mhm.
shit out of him.
That's the impression
Not
I got.
true. It's all love. It's all love.
It's all love. It's all love. It's all love.
That'd be nice.
Wink,
Oh,
wink.
hey.
Super winks.
Neil brought marshmallows. We just need some Hershey's bars.
Indeed, Doug
Have you guys
has,
ever-
Doug has a question. Doug has a question.
Oh, okay. Doug, what's
He's saying
up? Aloha, Steve.
He's saying who's parked in 15th chair.
Right here.
I'm just saying.
You can try to move it over a little bit.
Oh, Wolf was in
Doesn't
there.
quite work.
Yeah.
Hey, Kurt. Good to see you. Oh, Bonnie's got the Hershey bars. You guys,
Hey,
I'm
Bonnie.
speaking backwards tonight. I don't know what's going on.
By the way, everybody go to live chat or all messages. That way you're
Mhm.
current in the conversations. And hit the thumbs up.
Yeah.
Nice, Magic. Buff, good to see you.
Majik always types with one hand because the other hand's always busy with either a rolled up something or an object.
You say, is it Magic? I always say Magic. Have I
Majik,
been saying it wrong?
I don't know. Maybe I've been saying it wrong.
I don't know.
As
Rescue's
long as they
going
know
Hey,
all,
we're talking
Wingnut.
to them, that's all that matters.
Right.
Now I'm curious.
rescue's going all exotic and shit. You know?
Well,
like
no, when you look at it, I thought
Yeah.
at first, and then somebody told me that it's a Majik, and I was like, oh.
really?
So I was like,
Because I've
well,
been,
then I
I've
looked
been
at it, I'm
saying
going,
magic.
well, yeah,
I've been saying magic myself.
And English
Well-
sucks, dude.
yeah. What's up, Apple Dumpling?
Yeah. Hey, Apple Dumpling, good to see you.
What's up, Duck?
Random Jill.
Yeah,
Craig
that's
the
Jen.
Hunter.
Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Camel Carl. Cool avatar.
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
guys have to check out Camo Carl. He's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Indy, just I don't know
It's
if
camo.
you checked. I don't know if you checked Discord, but Lady Campion messaged me today, and she
Awesome,
said
Ozark.
the surgery went well and it's all good. She's just recovering now.
Yes. Yep, she's doing great. She said they're keeping her overnight, which was expected. But she's not in a lot of pain and she's doing really well. So yeah, thanks for reminding me to do an update there.
Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
Because a
Hey,
lot
the
of
cat.
people were asking about her.
Mm-hmm. Bonnie, good to see you. I think I said hi, but if not, hello. And Bonnie, I think I emailed you the link if you're able to come up and you wanted to tonight. All right. Okay. Oh, Salt, good to see you. And Cherokee, thanks for being here.
Oh, Cherokee
Karen?
Mommy's here?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Cherokee Mommy.
Glad you figured it out, Ray. Hey, Astua. Chris, good to see you. You guys, I'm flying through here. I'm almost caught up.
Oh my goodness.
It's happening. Dang. Good to see you.
The Millennium Falcro is here.
Falcro. How's it going, brother?
Anarchy
What's up,
Television. Magic. There it is. Okay. Said it's Magic.
Mike? Oh, Devoid?
I don't know.
You're going with the whole other one, right?
Yeah, Magic.
Yeah.
Mike.
Magic.
Is there a hurricane coming your way, Wingnut?
Oh, I
Down in
hope
Florida?
so.
Is there a hurricane?
Yeah,
Haven't heard about
that
that.
Idalia. Idalia is supposed to
Oh,
come
okay.
from Cuba, and then it's going to bank up that way. And
Oh,
Mhm.
shit. Stay safe, everyone.
Yeah.
they had the other one off the coast out the other way, but it's already going to go up north, so it's not making landfall. This one here, though, they're worried because when it comes into the Gulf, it's going to pick up those warm waters, and when it does, it'll pick up speed, and then it'll
Mhm. Hey, Sharon.
become more powerful. But then again,
Yeah.
until it actually crosses, won't really know which way it goes because they've done that before. Oh, it's going to go this way, and then it
Mhm.
literally zigzags like a stitch pattern or something, and it's like, oh,
Mhm. Yep. I like what Brand says. The weather was excellent today, but the Monday effect had its way by other avenues. Mondays do that, right?
right.
Yeah.
Craig, good to see you. Nice Wingnut. It'll take more than a Category 5 to knock him out.
Well, there you
Hope
go.
so.
Kim's
Is it Category 5?
creation
My
says,
goodness.
Kim said, so I will start the conversation. What do y'all think about them trying to use the 14th Amendment against Mr. T to keep him from running?
Mhm.
I think it's all
Mhm.
bogus, and I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors because it's just the key words. It's you've got to have committed insurrection. And I mean, they can repeat that about J6 all they want, but that's not what it was. And there's no legal
Mhm.
definition, no legal charges that even reference that. So it's all media shit.
Let
Yeah.
the
Hi,
election
Dee.
games begin.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how I feel
Odds
about
be
it
ever in
too.
your favor.
I saw today that he was appealing and calling it, I don't want to say the interference
Yep.
of a certain process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Selection flawed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I
apparently
agree.
you
I
can
mean,
only say that about everything from 16 on back, but you can't say it anymore now, I guess. I don't know what's up.
right. Yeah. Yep. It seems
Unless
to be
you're
that
on
way.
that side. Yeah. If you're Stacey Abrams or Hillary or them, you can still talk all about it and it's still fine.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I'm saying. The media just pushes that shit.
More importantly, if you pay close attention, you can match a void's grin to what's happening in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry.
Bring it
Bonnie's
on.
like
Bring it
waiting on
Okay.
the rain from the hurricane. I don't know about that, Bonnie. As long as it'll come in slow. We don't need no heavy rain. We've been we're so
Right,
dry
Uncle
that shit
Bimbley.
would be flash flood.
That's right. Same here.
You know, it's funny. I remember when I was a kid. I'm still thinking about elections. I remember when I was a kid. Oh, sorry. Am I not supposed to say that word?
Well, you were just talking about
Oh,
local
whatever.
Louisiana
It's
ones.
fine.
Nothing important.
I remember when I was a kid and, you know, didn't know a whole lot about the many ticks. And so I just remember like my family would all get really tense for a little bit. And then it would pass like a cramp or something. And I always remember thinking like, well, gee, I hope the right one gets picked, because in my head, the way hearing my family talk is if we pick the wrong one, everybody was going to die, and that was the end of the world. And so each day I was like, well, I guess we picked the right one. We're alive, so that's a good thing.
Who knows
And
if
when
that
she says
moment would
many
actually
ticks,
come?
she's talking about the definition of
Poly, yeah.
of a politic.
Yeah.
Poly meaning many, and a tick being a blood-sucking parasite.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it goes.
Yep.
Hey, what's up,
Sometimes
Phil?
language really means what it says.
It's very literal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lady Campaign, if you're listening, lots of people wishing you well, and glad to hear you're doing pretty well.
Indy, I think you're
Bonnie,
really,
do you have a full house tonight?
you're really far behind Indy still.
No, I'm
Mr.
not. I'm
Smith is-
super close.
Hey, Indy, Mr. Smith is
Yeah.
telling you to send him a link in Discord, please.
Oh, okay, we'll do, Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith.
See, look at that buff. I'm getting there. Okay, give me a minute, Mr. Smith. I'm going to catch up first. Oh, Cherokee, thank you so much.
So
Like
maybe
and hello
next
to
week,
everyone in
Mr.
chat
Smith.
and on the panel.
Cherokee's the best.
Thank you, Cherokee. I appreciate your support. All right. Hey, Rhodey. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Oh, nice, Carl. What are you working on writing for? If you put it in the chat, I'd love to know. Okay, Buff, you're heading home soon, right?
Because that would be like plugging a lamp into the bad outlet, and if it didn't work, well, then you just wouldn't do it in another outlet. You wouldn't try to fix that outlet. So it's not the voting is the problem. It's just who we keep voting for is the problem.
Mm-hmm. Good
You
night,
can't be
Ed.
voting for
See you
sleepy
later.
people.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Doug. Prayers for everybody in Florida.
Yes.
You're on mute.
And everybody in Maui, for that matter. I mean, let's continue to be praying for them. I mean, I can't even imagine what they're going through right now.
Yep.
Right, the
Oh,
cat?
it's crazy. I watched one guy they had a city council meeting, and there was a guy up there, and he was talking about the fact that, look, man, it's fine. I'm glad Biden came and all that, but you literally it was some restructuring they did. I think the guy said 3 weeks before the fire. It might have been 3 months, but it was either 3 months or 3 weeks. And I'll find it and send it to you. So you can put it in the Discord. But they're over there, the way they did the land deal, and they're literally having individual meetings, and there's one person that's meeting with developers and everything to start planning the reconstruction and stuff, and the homeowners and the property owners are just so pissed, and they're wanting their city council to do something. And they're like, look, you need to pass something. You need to stand up and do something. So that's, they need many prayers, dude. They're trying to get jacked hard. And I think the only reason it's happening to them is because they're an island out there. If there was a state right here, they wouldn't pull that shit, because then other states are just right there and they could help back. But you're an island. Yeah, you're part of the U.S., but you're out there, and if you're out of sight, out of mind. That's why the media doesn't talk about it.
What was
Sorry.
that? What did you say, Tiff? I'm sorry.
It's at a testing zone, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Pookie, Pooksicle, welcome.
Hey, Pookie.
Hey.
Thanks for being here.
Queen Bee just said at Wolf 7, she said, I got my CD yesterday. Great job. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate
Oh,
it. There's
can't
been
wait.
Good
There's a
stuff.
few people in the chat that have already got their CD, which I'm really happy to hear because I was very nervous doing this for the first time with a third party involved. But
Yeah.
it seems to be working out.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all you that have purchased it.
Thanks a lot, Brian. Yeah, I'm excited to get yours. I have Doug had actually gotten me a CD from both of you, and I know they've both come in. He told me, so they'll be on their way, and I can't wait. It's gonna be so exciting. I'll have lots of good music to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Thanks,
buffering
Snooks.
horrendous stuff over there in Maui.
Dang it, Queen.
Yeah, they're even trying to blame the fire department now, the firefighters. They're shuffling the buck off of the Highline company, even though they went in and removing all kinds of stuff. And they don't want to take any accountability. Now they're trying to shuffle it off to the firefighters.
Mm-hmm. Benjamin, good to see you. Thanks
And
for being here and for the coffee and treats.
they're still keeping the same outcome too, the same toll. They're not even upgrading. It's like, well, how is that possible? I did catch a part of a Glenn Beck little show, and he was talking to a guy that was over there, and there's ashes everywhere. They've even established barricade walls just so the wind won't blow stuff too far, so they can still try to collect stuff. It's atrocious.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be, on the non-conspiracy side of things, I can see why it would be really difficult, obviously, to try to handle any of that as a crime scene, but also just as far as like identifying victims,
Well, yeah, regardless of how it started, just
Right.
and it's the handling of the outcome right now is still just even atrocious as the fire itself, because they're not letting resources in there. They're not, like, we should have that ship off out there, the big old famous medical ship that they had no problem sending to New York for the coof and shit, and they got no problem sending it to well, why isn't that sitting off the coast out there? Why don't we have the Coast Guard over there doing shuffles between islands? Why you don't hear no push? Where's shipping? Where's our gatherings? Where's our collection things to collect stuff, and let's help them? You don't hear no rebuilding. You don't hear, like, let's get supplies over there. Why? Instead, you hear every time you start some program, from a stupid ass program all the way to some game to some media shit, it's send money to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Donate to support for Ukraine. Never mind Maui.
I've seen an entire carrier group get shifted for a lot less. And you would be surprised. You would be very, very surprised if I broke down what a single carrier group can do in terms of supply and resources. I think a carrier desalinates something around 3 million gallons of water a day for drinking water. I mean, it's the support that it could provide is insane.
Hey, Tony. Good to see you.
I heard desalination is very cheap.
If there wasn't so many other things that were going on, I would be more forgiving of what could be passed off as coincidences or circumstantial gains. So, like, for instance, those barricades, right? Like, yes,
I remember Unity. Good to see you. Sorry, Tiff, keep going.
I can absolutely see how those barricades, like, logically, that makes sense, trying to help, keep the wind down and preserve what you can. But, like, I don't remember seeing any barricades like that for Paradise or any of these other fires, like whether or not they claim people, Paradise people died. There are other fires. And then on top of the fact that, like, that's a page straight out of China's book. Like, I don't know if y'all have kept up with the China show, or some people are interested, some people aren't, but China a couple weeks ago had massive, major flooding, which is very normal for the southern parts of China, but for the northern parts of China and Beijing and things like that, it's not normal. And bridges, which China has been gloating about how many bridges and how well they've been built, and well, all these bridges with their foam, were collapsing, and so they were blocking it off with people still stuck on the bridge and everything. They were blocking off the scene from other roads so that nobody could see what's happening. and you
Mhm.
add that to all the other like coincidences that you have to write off around Hawaii, and I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. But the fact that FEMA is now not letting any pictures come out, everybody who has had pictures is supposed to be taking them down. Like, they want absolutely mum's the word on all of this. And so to me, though the barricades could have a reasonable explanation, I'm inclined to look for the unreasonable explanation because there's so many other
Mhm.
unreasonable things going on.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
after what I heard about the electric company, I can kind of see it. It's still along the same nefarious route. It's just that you're intentionally not decharging those lines. And by not de-energizing those lines, that means you're leaving live lines on the ground on purpose. That's just
Right.
hypothetical. And if you did that, then I guess I could see where if the only response you have as a law enforcement officer is to go, well, look, this is what we do during storms is no, don't drive around this stuff. And I don't know what to do. I could see that role maybe getting caught in the middle. I guess if I had to go swinging at something, it'd be the Highline Electric. But then again, you kind of dig into that and you find out that there's two main shareholders to those. One starts with an S and the other one starts with a V. And they actually control almost 90-something% of the whole Hawaiian Islands electrical grid. And you
Mhm.
go, oh, well, so we might have had a little skin in the game to want to make this a bigger resort area.
Mhm.
So I get it, and with the barricades I was just talking about too, Tiff, that's apparently in this collective thing. And the way he described it, I took it as what we use over here whenever we're trying to slow water flow. Like when they're doing road construction, they'll put that black barricading up and they're trying
Oh,
to slow the waterfall down so it won't carry the dirt away. They're
that
using
makes
those
sense.
to block the houses off kind of from the
Right.
streets and the yards to
Because
keep
Lynn
it
and
from
I have
blowing.
seen a couple of videos where people are driving along and I mean it's just miles and miles of, or what appears to be, a very long segment of just border where you can't look in.
Oh,
And they have
Mhm.
a like a whatever you call the restricted flying zone.
Yep.
People can't fly drones over it.
Mhm.
It's just a complete
Yeah, that
blackout.
Hawaii real estate is a really good channel. He seems to be somebody who's really covering the local voices there and getting people to share their stories. And he's already there, so he's going and like showing things that were burned and that weren't, and kind of some of the oddities that are popping up. 79, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Where do you guys get your news from?
Tony Howie, man with the cheat codes. Sorry, I missed your comment earlier.
Mr. Howie?
Hope you're
Mm,
having a great night.
yeah, Butterfly, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
No, Michigan, I didn't. I'll check.
Where do you guys get most of your news from? I'm assuming it's not just one specific place.
For
I
me,
kinda
there's
just
live. Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, ma'am, go ahead.
Oh,
Ladies first.
well, I was going to say, yeah, I was going to say, I think for me, it's live streamers that I've gotten to know and trust, people who I know do their research, and a lot of them will cite their sources.
Yeah.
But also people that I've, gotten to follow through other things, like starting mostly for me back with like the selections in 2020, and then, everything that went on with COVID and all of that. So, and then also like the Chop and the Chaz, unspecified podcast and review. They're one of them, but yeah, just people that I followed for a long time that like I'll still check, what their sources are, and you have to take it all with discernment. But yeah, that's where I mostly turn for news now.
Oh, right on.
What were you going to say, Rescue?
I was just about kind of the same. I mean, it depends on mainly what it's about. Like if it's on the political side, I dig a lot through the gov bills and stuff, and then I watch a lot of the committee and the hearings, and I will listen to the witnesses, and then I start doing background stuff on them and trying to go find stuff.
There you go.
Just kind of catch where they fit into the mix. And then like with this, the Maui thing, I hear some of the mainstream media, but I really just don't even pay much attention because I know it's a spin. And so some of it's the ground footage, and I kind of discern that. I'll throw a wrench in. There's a latest one that's going around with the two guys around the cars, and they're talking about the damage to the car. I've responded to so many car fires. That didn't look that out of place to me. What that looked like is that fire started in the backside. That fuel tank erupted and it melted all that aluminum. I've stood there spraying a hose inside a car and watching the engine manifold of a Ford truck just run out in a puddle in the front because it's just so much heat. But then you look at other stuff, and that kind of connects things. I wish I could get a good aerial overview of the scorch mark right now.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I don't
Not at all.
anything mainstream. I pretty much don't, because if it's
Yeah,
out in the open in the flow, man, apparently it's allowed, which means it must not be too close to the truth because they're okay with it being out there.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tony says, am I alone in thinking that the movie The Hunger Games was a preview of what the elites and the WEF have in store for us? Not at all. I've thought about that so many times. Even thinking about, like, okay, well, maybe I won't go too far down that rabbit hole, but like District 13, how it was supposed to be off limits because it was, you know, radioactive mess or whatever, but really there were the resistance was living there, right? Like, what about those places out there that we've been told are off limits? And this is a huge rabbit hole, and I'm not saying I believe it one way or the other. Like I said, I try to take in like all the different ideas that are out there. But some people believe that even nuclear weapons are part of that, and that goes into like Chernobyl, where now people are going into Chernobyl, and there's actually things that are flourishing there that shouldn't be, based on what we've been told about Chernobyl. So, anyway, there's a lot of different ideas out there about all of that. But I do think that in some way, shape, or form, all of that is kind of laying the foundation for what's coming and what we're in now.
I still
Feels
get
that
freaked
way.
out, like on my phone, or I assume anybody's phone, but occasionally it will point out what district I'm in, and I'm like, no, don't label me like that. I identify as a District 1, thank you. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, Cherokee Survival.
Right,
Welcome.
Joe.
I don't watch the news.
What's up, Cherokee?
Good to see you, Mike.
My quick answer: I don't watch the news. If something that is happening, I need to know. There are people I know who call me and let me know.
Nice. Hey, Red Pill, thanks for being here.
I gotta say, I don't watch anything on TV on these new shows or I don't watch any of that crap. I watch my old
Both
westerns.
Cherokees are here. Sorry.
Yep.
Hey, Cherokee Mammy and Cherokee Survival. Love it.
We have 2
What's up, Red
Cherokees.
Bill?
We have 2 queens. I mean,
Yeah.
2 ladies now, I guess.
2 ladies. Yeah.
What live? What's up, buddy? Hadn't seen you in a minute. Hope you're doing well. Oh, by the way, Michigan, yes. And if you don't mind, I'll show everybody. But TT1 finally sent me this picture of Michigan because, I asked about a logo and I was trying to think of something I had really no idea. Oh, man, I hate it when it does that. You ever hate it whenever you take a picture and you get sent this picture and it's sideways and you go, oh, well, here, let me turn my phone sideways. And so the picture just rotates so it still is upside down. And it's like, you little shit, I can't catch you. You keep running from me.
You have to lock your screen. Hey, Hope, good to see you.
Yeah, let me turn that.
Indy, could you check Discord, please?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and then when you're done sharing that rescue, I do want to get into a conversation here with Wolf 7. I know you don't have all the time in the world.
Oh,
here,
but
go ahead.
did you want to share that real
Time
quick?
is relative. It's all right. Say that again.
Well, yeah. So so Wolf 7, I've seen around in the chats for a while and been listening to some of your music. But it wasn't really until your interview with 15th that I got to know a little bit more about you. And it was really great to see you up on panel. And so I just wanted to have a chance for you to kind of introduce yourself to, the people here in this community. Some of them will be the same, but a lot of them are different. And talk a little bit about you and your music.
All right.
So, yeah, if you want to just go ahead and
go ahead.
Start sharing, or I can ask you questions. Or
I'll do better if you ask questions, probably.
Okay. Yeah. So how did you first start playing music? What got you interested in playing?
Well, I started playing when I was really young. I was 8, 9, 10, something like that. Yeah, I've always loved music, and I've always just been exposed to a lot of music between friends and family. And I wanted to be Jimi Hendrix when I was like 10 years old. So I was So yeah, I started playing guitar then. I've been a musician my whole life. At this point, I can kind of pick up anything with strings and play it. I play basically anything that you can imagine. I play drums, bass. I play any string, bowed instrument, any kind of keys.
That's amazing.
I've just picked up along the way, playing in bands and stuff. And then I was in the military for 10 years. So music was kind of on the back shelf, I guess. For some of that time, I actually had a small band for a little while with a
Thank you for your service.
that I was in. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. And so between my childhood, which I go in depth in with my interview with 15th, if anybody hasn't seen it and wants to check out, I had a very interesting childhood. I was actually born and raised in a cult, and it's very, very horrific childhood, very abusive in a lot of different ways. And then when I joined the Army, of course, I joined very shortly after 9/11, and I joined as an infantryman. So bounced back and forth between Iraq and Afghanistan for 10 years, basically. And dealt with between all my childhood shit and then a decade of fighting a war. I became a horrific drunk for the next decade. And I finally, I'd had previously multiple suicide attempts in my life, and I've been hospitalized 3 times. But November of 2020 was the last time I tried to kill myself, and that's when I finally got sober. And the big thing that really has got me to this point and where I am today, very, very happy, very, very healed, very, very myself. When I stopped drinking, I needed something to kind of fill time. My thing was I still functioned very well. I was a daily blackout drunk, but I still got up in the morning, went to work every day. So
yeah,
everything was very routine. It was get home after work as fast as I can, get the first drink in me. So I needed something to fill the time when I stopped drinking. And I started playing around with, my guitar again a lot more. And then I just thought, why don't I just start recording and figure out how that works? And then how do you get people to hear your music? How do you get it on the streaming services? And I just started researching and working every day. And that's how I spent my time instead of drinking. And then here I am today.
That's amazing. What an incredible story to be able to share with everyone, because there are so many people who can relate to different aspects of that. And I think it's amazing that you're able to speak so, I don't know what the right word is, but confidently about it. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, yeah. I'm sure you still have emotions that are wrapped up in all of that. But, in hearing your interview with 15th and then in kind of working through my own experiences that I've had, I know what you mean about that. Like when you've dealt with things, you fully dealt with them. It kind of does become this like cut and dry thing, because it's like, all right, that's like, sort of wrapped up with the bow, and you can see how it affects you still, maybe for myself at least. But yeah, I really appreciate you sharing so openly. I wanted to share something too. You don't have to say, but when you were talking about the cult, it reminded me. So my parents were actually in a cult before I was born, and it was when my brothers were really little. And they all lived in California before they moved to Washington State. And then I was born right after they moved here. So when they moved here from California, they moved away from it. But it sounded like a very similar experience in a lot of ways to what you experienced. And it was I believe it was called the Worldwide Church of God, was the name of the cult that they were in. But it was also a Christian cult. So, I think for a lot of people, you hear like somebody's involved in a cult and it seems so like foreign and out there. But I think it happens a lot. A lot of times I think people are involved in cults and don't even realize it, which I think we can kind of see tied up in a lot of things.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna tie into what you said is anything can be a cult. But
right.
Yeah, I think it, but yeah, and I shared this with 15th when we talked. You don't feel like anything's wrong. It's everyone else is weird to you. And especially in that environment, everything is so controlled and so calculated you know, to be born into it and not have it presented to you even as like a young person or a teenager, you know, there's just, you know, nothing else. So it becomes what is right. I mean, even in like my situation, which was extremely physically and sexually abusive, it was still just, that was
That
my
was the
life.
norm.
Yeah, that was just what my life was. It didn't, you know, it's
That's what you
painful
knew.
and everything, but it's
Right.
it's what you know, and like it can become, it can become a security blanket just like anything else, because at the same time while all that stuff is going on, you're also being told, constantly completely contradictory things to what's actually happening to you, but your mind, especially as a child developing, you don't understand. You just hear somebody telling you, no, this is okay, and this is the way it's supposed to be, and this is where you're safe, and this is who you can trust, and don't trust anybody else. You don't know any better.
Yeah, you don't have another
Yeah.
reference point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
Thank
What's
you
up,
for
Dusty?
sharing that,
Hey, JM.
by the way, Wolf.
Yeah.
Yes, brother, and I can tell you, it does. There's no telling who all you might touch when you share every time, and I think it's awesome that you share that experience. I think that's the more people that share those experiences, then the better it can reach out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And then, one of the reasons that I am so candid, for one, because of where I am with my acceptance of everything in my life, but two, because one of the biggest things is, and this is just not my opinion, just statistically true, especially among men. It is very, very, very uncommon for men, especially who go through any kind of sexual trauma, whether they're as a child or as an adult, to speak about it. That's why I speak about it so openly, because I want people to see. I'm not, and I don't know how this will sound, but I'm just going to say it. I mean, I'm a pretty hard motherfucker. I went to war for 10 years. I may not be the kind of person that you would look at and think would ever show any kind of weakness, but that is where our strength actually comes from.
Yeah, that's strength to me.
Is being real
I
and
love that.
being honest and being transparent. That's strong. Pretending
Right
pretending everything in your life is perfect is the weakest shit you can do to anybody.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the fake
Absolutely
stuff.
agree. Yep. I say real recognizes real. And that's how I've gotten to know so many of the people in this community, is from all different communities, where it's like you can see people being authentic and get to know people and know that they are being their true selves. And, that's what we're about here. Speaking of which, 79, you're new to me, but yeah, go ahead and speak openly here. Within
What's up,
reason.
D-Dog?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I know 15th picked out a couple songs. 15th, do you want to say what the first song is? And then Michael, if you, or Wolf 7, if you can go ahead and tell us a little bit about it.
I bet I only need one guess.
Yeah.
You know which one it is.
Are you going to play Like You Mean It?
Yeah.
I don't even know what it's called, Steve. He knows the song better than me.
I woke up remembering that
Hey,
song too.
How do you want to do? Do you want to just play the song and then ask me about it, or do you want me to talk about it beforehand?
Tell us about it. Tell us about it first. Yeah, go ahead and tell us about it
Yeah.
first. I like to hear the story, and then we can listen, while we're listening to the song.
Okay. All right. Well, a lot of my music, the way it ends up coming together, which is how this song came together, is I just start fiddling around on my guitar with really no idea in mind. It's just I have time and I want to do something. And this kind of the main guitar melodic rhythm portion of the song, I hadn't felt like I had really paid homage to Hendrix in my music yet, and I really wanted that part of the guitar to feel like Hendrix, which is where that came from. And as I was kind of like composing and getting it put together, and I got it to a place where I liked it just on the guitar, for some reason, I just had the chorus kind of just came to me, and I just started recording what came to me with the chorus, and it worked great. And then I decided, well, what does the chorus mean? So I actually wrote it almost in reverse. Like I didn't even have a concept necessarily for the lyrics, which which is lyrics are the hardest part for me. Music is easy. for me, music is very, very easy. I don't mean that to sound arrogant. It's just, it comes to me very naturally.
Yeah.
If somebody says, here, I need you to play bass in a jazz band tonight, I'll go play bass in a jazz band tonight and I'll be fine. If I need to cover like an entire Hendrix album with some band that needs me tonight, I can go do that. But if you want me to write lyrics for a song, it's like going to work for me.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I sang a lot when I was younger, and I hadn't sung for about 14 years probably when I actually started doing vocal work again. I mean, the first like 30 singles that I've released in the last 2 years were all just instrumental tracks. And I finally got the confidence to start working on the vocal stuff again. But either way, so this song, the chorus just kind of fell in my lap, and then I had to figure out what I wanted to write the song about. And it's kind of a strange thing. Like 15 said, it kind of ties into almost the world we might be about to live in. Some people probably already do, but really it's kind of a science fiction story about somebody who's in like a prolonged hibernation through, space travel or something, but they have to have part of your mind active. So you live in a virtual reality a lot in your life because, you're traveling for years, even if it's at light speed. So basically people become so attached to that virtual reality. They're very consciously aware of the difference, but they don't care. They want that virtual reality. So as the chorus will say it like you mean it. I don't care if it's true. Just say it until I believe it is. That's what that is. So that's
all right.
the song.
Love it.
Sounds biblical.
Looking forward.
Oh man, this
Okay,
song.
let me go ahead and put this in.
Oh, I love this one.
What's up,
I
Moose?
love it. I love it. This one is mind-boggling good. All right, let's go.
Just say it like you mean it until I believe you. There's 100 million light years in between, keeping me plugged into the machine, living inside someone else's dream. I found everything I thought I'd need. Just following the voices as they echo in my mind, forgetting the deaf, dumb, and blind. But I'm terrified, I'm gonna get left behind. Just say it like you mean it, I don't care if it's true. Just say it like you mean it until I believe you. Just say it. Just say it like you mean it, I don't care if it's true. Just say it like you mean it until I believe you. you mean it until I believe you. Just say, yeah. Just say it like you mean it. I don't care if it's true. Just say it like you mean it until I believe
Oh man.
Yeah, you're
This is-
slicing through space and time.
Yeah,
this
that
is
was awesome.
this is like literally breathtaking. Like I was actually
Yeah.
like,
The whole build to that.
yeah. And it's so
Amazing.
the playing is so melodic, and the repeating melodies, like that is something which I crave when I listen to a solo, right? Like the repeating melodies, and Wolf is like a genius at it. Amazing.
Yeah, the
Appreciate
Yeah,
it,
it's
guys.
beautiful. Your voice too. I mean, it's incredible. You have a really powerful voice.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can check my Spotify and find a couple there that are horrific.
In your
When I first started singing again, let me tell you, there's a couple songs. I told 15th the other night. I haven't taken anything down. But there are a few things where you will not be as pleased with my voice.
Well, it's good that you're human. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, that's
well,
what
nice
made
to
this one
know.
so different?
Good question,
but I
Avoid.
appreciate it. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Mhm.
What made this one so different?
I think the reason that my vocal is what it is on this is because of what I was talking about at the beginning, how the chorus just fell into my mind and it just came out of my mouth. It's probably not a great way to describe that, but I didn't even think.
No, it just came from within. I get it.
Those words
Mm-hmm.
I was playing and I was just, it literally just came out of my mouth. I don't know how else to describe it. And I think the
Hey, beautiful tea.
songs that I, like the vocal work that I do when the lyrics come to me very naturally,
Yeah.
I sing it very
Mhm.
confidently. If I have to work really hard trying to tie an idea together with words, it sounds like I wasn't confident writing it when I sing it, if that makes sense.
It does. It sounds like the song wrote itself through you.
And
Hey, T-girl.
that's exactly how I would describe this particular song. Is a song that it everything just happened. It just fell together. Everything just worked. I can't explain it. I can't even say, oh, it's my work ethic or my skill. It just fell together.
Yeah, of
Mhm.
course.
Amazing.
Well, I think, maybe not in music for me, but in other things in my life, like I think we all have those experiences, you know what I mean? And like for
Yeah.
me, it's a
Mhm.
spiritual thing. It's like, God gives you something in a moment, and I love it. I love it. That's great. It's great when we
Yep.
can recognize that when it happens,
Yeah.
100%.
And I think we all have that. We all have the capacity to absorb that, whatever you want to call it, gift.
Yeah,
Have to be at the
Mhm.
right place at the right time.
yeah. I think a lot of it ties into what I was talking about with my past of acceptance. I think the closer you get to, and I think it doesn't matter like what your spirituality is or your faith is. I think the closer you get to that enlightenment of acceptance of what is outside of your control, the more likely it is that things will enter into your life or even come through you, just because you're willing to let go of the control that you're trying to have all the time in your life.
And you know what's crazy about
Mhm.
that? I don't think you can reach that point without struggle. Like, you have to
Absolutely.
have
Yeah.
immense pain and suffering, and then all of a sudden you're at the, you're in that one moment where like you were supposed to go through that, like this,
You
like
know,
validation.
right. And,
Good
I've
night,
heard,
Ray.
and it's not, not to disparage anyone at all, but, most of the people in my life personally, and just an anecdote, that have the smartest people I've ever met in my life, the most, I guess, people just brought the most value to a relationship or friendship, or the people that I just absolutely 100% could count on, they were always somebody who came from some horrific thing in their life. It was, and again, that's not to disparage anybody or say that somebody who hasn't suffered in their life can't be a great person.
No,
I just,
no, of course not.
my personal experience, it's always been people who have been through something, or they've been through a lot. They were always the people I found to have the most integrity, the most compassion for other people, and just in general, just bringing value to the world.
Yeah. I like how Queen Survivor says, absolutely, hardships refine us. And it made me think of refiner's fire, we get, all the impurities burned out of us when we go through the fire. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole death and rebirth thing, like the whole Phoenix thing, or the whole Jesus thing, like that's a real thing. You have
on a side note, Indy.
Yeah.
I think the purple lights that I chose for the LED sign, they worked. Thank you for the wrench. I think you liked it.
Oh, hey!
I used purple for your screen tonight.
I didn't notice, but now I did. I love it. That's great.
There you go.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't have a
that
wrench already.
That was me playing with your subconscious.
Dang it! It worked. Now I want to take it back.
No, thank you for that. It makes it easier for me to drop links.
This way, I can just make you work harder over here, 15.
I know. That's what you were giving me a hint. Yeah, 15. I need more links from you.
Right? Yeah, thank you. DS, thank you for being here. And I did see the chat that was happening real quick. I just want to kind of go back to that real quick. There was a whole conversation that happened in here that I want to make sure people listening have their attention drawn to too. But here we go. Yeah. So Dragon Slayer came in. He said, "Ahoy, folks! Just curious, has anyone else had issues with ATMs today?" And
go to the next one. He did.
Been a couple people. Tell me if I missed. I highlighted a couple of them. Apple Dumpling said, "Which banks?" He said. She said, "I took."
He says it farther on. He has a kind of a little paragraph, and he talked about Southern Cal, and there's something about $100 limits, or they didn't have the money. He kind of does. There's a little paragraph.
I think I might have missed some of it. Yeah, it was flying by, but yeah, it sounds like there's some things going on. I know people have been talking about this for a while. At least have some money out in cash from your banks, because we've seen it already happening in other countries too.
He also said bank outages in Australia.
Indy, I think you went on mute.
On my timer, it shows 9:49.
I think Queen Bee said my microphone was too low. Is it better now?
Yep.
Yeah,
you sound good to me.
Oh, good. Okay, good. You tricked me, Queen.
Yeah, invest in gold. I know people are saying, that platinum and silver also.
And I give.
JM says lots.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I was just going to read JM's comment. Lots of banks are under pressure due to the rising interest rates and lots of people pulling their cash out. Right. Yeah, it's that kind of catch-22. If everybody goes and pulls out their money, it's not helping our system to stay stable. But you don't want to be the last one to try to go get your money if
There, I posted what I just posted. I copied what he had done when he said different ATMs in different cities within the county and different banks either had no cash available, $100 withdrawal limit, or unable to process transactions. This was in SoCal.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have heard about that happening here in Washington too. I guess it's better to bank with more than one. We pulled out of Bank of America because they were having a lot of security things that I wasn't comfortable with. And we use a credit union. So I've heard that credit unions are a little bit more stable than the big banks, but who knows?
He just posted again, said Indy, Wells Fargo, ATM cash unavailable. B of A, no cash available. Chase had $100 withdrawal limit, and the credit union couldn't process anything. Damn it, boy.
Okay.
California's
there's Bank of America. Whole West Coast is. Yeah, property is a good investment, and prices are going down right now. They'll probably keep going down.
I gotta say, if we go
in-
into the Hunger Games thing, then just come to Texas, because if we come to establishing walls and fences around shit, we'll be definitely energy independent down here. We have
Right.
our own fuel, we'll
Yeah,
have our
I'm ready.
food, we got everything.
Yeah, Texas is towards the top of my list. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Invest in barter items. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead, Michael.
I was just for anybody who's concerned about like the things like the world collapsing somewhere or society, let me invest in skills that will be valued by other people. That's what you need to invest in. Your money, gold, even gold, things like all that, they would, if depending on the level of catastrophe, they'll mean nothing. I mean, I've been to places in the world not that long ago where what you can do with your hands is what people care about. Like, it's money doesn't even is completely relative. The best thing that you can do if you're worried about anything happening within our society is to be able to be as self-sufficient as you can and have skills that other people are willing to either let you live for or trade you for.
Yep, knowledge. They can't take it
that's
from
really
you.
good advice.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the best things I've learned from the prepper community over the last few years is canning, being able to pressure can. I mean, it seems like such a simple thing, and it really is pretty simple. But it's something. Yeah, well, there's a lot of things, but also, I mean, water. Like, make sure that you have access to water, but also ways to purify your water. I mean, those are some like very basic things. Make sure, like, I think they say most Americans have 3 days worth of food on hand. Like, be better than that. Make sure you're giving yourself a little more leeway than that. Start with 3 weeks. Start building up from
That's
there,
better stats than I gave.
I have really
wouldn't have thought
bad
that.
news for my neighbors, because if something happens, I have as much food as everyone in my neighborhood has.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I don't even have food right now.
Whatever's in the fridges in the houses around me is now mine.
Yeah, lots of good advice here in the chat. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, Mrs.
All right,
Joe.
well, 15th, what was the next song that you chose to share of Wolf's?
So the next one is 1 second.
This is gonna surprise me.
Red Pill. Texas used to be its own country until we decided to join the union.
Mm-hmm.
I got it loaded. There you go.
Texas was its own
yeah,
country 6 times.
Anti said the hurricane is currently landing in Florida. So maybe we'll get some updates from some people over there on how it keeps going. Hey, Mrs. G. Good to see you.
You didn't want to play a hip hop song? It's funny, but I do have those.
I know. I'm not gonna lie.
I heard him.
When I heard them the first time, I was like, "Bro, Wolf, I gotta reach out to Wolf. I think he's, going through a midlife crisis or something." No, because
I just had to experiment.
I know.
I think "Rotten" is a pretty good song. Honestly, I do. I think
it is. But to be honest, Indy, I was telling, I mentioned this on my interview as well. The first time I saw Wolf play live. He was live streaming at that time on his channel, his old channel, and like I just hopped on because we had a lot of common friends, and somebody shared the link, and I was like, all right, I'll go check this guy out. And Wolf is talking, and he just picks up the guitar and he starts ripping it. I was like, what the fuck? I think I was maybe like a year and a half into my journey. So at that point, I was getting all these praises from everyone, and 15th is amazing and this and that, whatever. And then I heard this and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna sell my guitar. I'm probably gonna take a fishing or something, like just I can never do what this guy is doing. And he was just like killing it. And then a year later, one day I go to his channel, I hear like a hip hop song and Wolf is rapping. I'm like, bro, what the fuck just happened here in the last year? But it was good. It was just very different from what I
love
was.
music.
Yeah.
Man. I love
Yeah.
all kinds of music.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's
experimentation
great.
sometimes brings out amazing stuff, right? So
Yeah, I experimented and found that that's not something I'm interested in doing again.
yeah, and that's how you find out.
It was fun though.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Nice.
And I still stand by Rotten. I think it's a damn good hip hop track.
My man. All right. So
I love
this
it.
one,
I'm excited to check that one out too now.
yeah, I played this on my stream that day as well, and I heard it the first time on that night. And I think everyone in the chat just lost their collective shit when they heard it because it was so amazing. So I'm excited. Let's go. This is called
Nut
Empirical.
jerky.
I remember hearing that one now, and somebody made a comment about it being like the music of the future.
Yeah.
And I hear it. I
That was
love
me.
it. I love it. Was it you, Void? You always say great comments.
It
It
sounds like
figures.
something stupid I'd say.
Man, the Void's comments are just next level every time.
Right?
Can you tell I'm lonely?
He definitely had some comments where it was like you weren't really quite sure which direction he was going in with his thought.
I'll
He's
blame Ray.
definitely, and now that I'm interacting with him, I know he's intelligent enough to say something and be a smartass, and a lot of people not realize it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is facts.
Hey, don't blame me on
Real
that.
recognizes real right there.
Say hi to my cat.
100%, 100% correct.
Love it. That was amazing.
God.
Thank you so much for coming up, Michael, and sharing a little bit about yourself. You were welcome anytime. I'm live on Mondays, and usually I'll put the link out in the chat too. But yeah, let me know if you ever want to come back up, and especially
I
if you'd
really
ever like to come and
appreciate
play live.
You're leaving.
Once you get things
I'll
set
hang
up.
out for a little bit.
It's
Okay,
definitely good to
perfect.
meet
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
not leaving yet. I'm not leaving.
Yeah,
yet.
man.
Like,
I might
Wolf's
leave.
like,
though.
Wolf's like, why are you kicking me out, Indy?
When
I know it sounded like Indy
I'm
was just
not
going to
kicking
boot
you
him or
out.
something. So I figured,
Like,
oh, well.
so your songs
Not
are
at all.
really good. We'll see you later.
We'll see you
So
later.
Thanks for
there's,
sharing. Bye.
there's a hurricane.
Yeah, right. Like hip hop.
That guy was playing his guitar. He's gone.
Yeah. Hey, Moonchild. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Red
the
Pill,
last
I
update go ahead, Indy.
go ahead. I talked with Ronnie. He's not feeling great, but he's doing okay. Just prayers for him to stay hydrated and start feeling a little better. Did you have anything else to add, Rescue?
No, that was about the same. I just heard because somebody asked Steve on his deal, and that's what he told him. So that's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
Did we got anybody? By the way, Snooks is in Florida, and somebody else said they were in Florida, and I was kind of wondering
yeah, here.
what the weather's looking like down there.
Yeah, there's some comments here.
What's up, Moonchild?
Be careful.
Gee, Merkel.
Oh, that's not the one. Oh, also, Buzzacino, thank you for coming in. Good to see you. And Buzz, I saw you said you have a song. Is that on your page? I'll try to find that. And TZ, thank you for being here. Yeah, Snooks is in Florida. And DeCat said that he may be back to give an update on the storms.
Okay.
Yeah, Kat said, my kids may dislike me sometimes, but I raise survivors. Good luck crossing them. They cook, clean, hunt, forage, and they shoot. Teach them young. The younger you teach them, the better. Well said. Yeah, Buzz, I definitely want to hear that.
Yeah, I hope that thing doesn't pick up more speed and doesn't do a whole lot of damage. We don't really need that right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's too much for everyone to consume right now. I feel like we're something away from mentally, even if it doesn't really collapse society, just psychologically, I think people are so in a horrible place right now, just in general.
Yeah,
well, I mean, if you think about, and also, I mean, if you think about like the last, 3 to 4 years, it's just been one thing after another, and it's like been snowballing and just picking up pace. So, I don't know if PTSD is, kind of overused sometimes, but I think we're all still processing things that happened over the last few years. And then at the same time, we're trying to process what's being thrown at us every day. And it's, it's basically on like a daily schedule. I mean, it used to be like a month, what's going to happen in October? Like, oh, this is what's happening in January. And now it's like, what happened yesterday? Wait, was that a week ago? That felt like 3 months ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one thing after another. It's crazy.
This is becoming the norm. It's like there's always something. And so it's tension and anxiety has just become the new norm.
Yeah, I think there's the access to information is such a nuanced thing. It's great that everyone has so much access to so much information, but at the same time, our minds are not evolved to that point. We're not. Yeah. We're still the same. Physiologically, we are the same thing as we were 100,000 years ago. And I think now they found. I think the oldest remains they found now are like 300,000 years old. We're physiologically the same thing, the same animal. And you look at the technology that we have, and we're just not designed.
Well, we probably used more of our brain back then because we weren't polluted with so much outside worldly stuff that we actually processed things that we actually developed and thought of more. Where now it's kind of like the phones. When you first had a phone, it was just the technology of the phone was impressive. Now it's just which model do you want, which brand,
right?
And so the actual intensiveness is gone. It's all just polluted. We don't. I thought about this the other day. It's like, I remember growing up and you used to hear from teachers going, we only use 10% of your brain. So you need to try to use more. And it'd be like, so let's see, When I was a kid, if we only did 10%, what are we down to nowadays? About 3% or what? I mean,
0.10.
Like I said, it's just
Yeah.
there's so much information to process, and then our minds being physiologically the same as they were when we were in caves. We need problems to solve, and we evolved to react to danger. Well, you don't really have danger now, as much in even like a story like mine. The reality is, I still live in the easiest time, the most
Yeah.
comfortable time in human history.
Mhm.
I don't have real problems on a daily basis. Our minds aren't meant for that. Our minds are meant to solve
Yeah.
problems on a daily basis. We're also a predatory animal. So
Mhm.
we don't
Yeah, the
have any
danger
of
is no
that.
longer physical.
Yeah, exactly. We're not avoiding cats anymore. We're trying to fight with each other now because we don't have a real problem in our life to deal with. So
It's funny you bring that up, man, because
people
you were
around us
talking
are a
about
problem.
being suicidal earlier, which I want to thank you again for that, because that's so hard to talk about. And I was suicidal pretty much all my life because I've been depressed pretty much all my life. And as soon as I got over it, which was when COVID happened, surprisingly, now I'm having the opposite. Now I'm having anxiety. So
Mhm.
before I wanted to die, now I don't want to die. Like now I'm
Yep.
having like this disconnect. Like my body feels danger, and my mind doesn't know what it is. And as soon as I feel like my heart skip a beat, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die. And like I'm making fun of that
Mhm.
right
Right.
now, but like it's a legit serious condition. I
Well,
don't know what the hell to do.
Yep.
I can tell you, I know exactly what you're saying. I
Help
mean,
me.
those words could be coming out of my mouth. I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. You can't. It's very difficult to impart wisdom and have people accept it. But for what it's worth, I'll impart what I can. I am where I am now with depression, anxiety, with all the symptoms of my post-traumatic stress by accepting more and more in my life. And what I mean by that is the only thing I know this now and I practice this now. The only thing I can control in my entire life is myself. I can control how I react, but how I react is entirely my choice. Everything
Mm.
happening outside of my own mind, I have zero control over. And every inch of control that I try to take over something that is outside of my own control, the more depression I have, or the more anxiety I have, or whatever the case may be, because I don't actually have control over it. And that's what most people are trying to do all day long in their life. They're trying to control things that they have zero control over. So of course they're a nervous wreck and they have anxiety and they're depressed. You're constantly trying to control something that you could never control and never will control. The only thing you can control is how you choose to react and respond to what you perceive in front of you. That's
Thank
all
you.
you have
Serenity
control
Prayer
over.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
If you can start really, really trying to accept that the bad thing that happened didn't happen to you or in spite of you, it just happened and you're there to see it, the closer you can get to that idea, the closer to actual mental freedom you will find. Just so everybody knows too, I've been on every like psychological medication that you could take
I'm
or
so scared of that.
psychiatric. I take nothing now. I haven't taken meds
Mhm.
in a year and a half. I haven't taken meds.
Yeah.
And I'm actually in a better place, more mentally stable now by simply using my own cognitive process to
You said you
find my
accepted.
peace.
You said you accepted
Acceptance.
what like
You have
what does
to
that
accept
mean? Like
what it means is this is difficult. All right. This is the difficult
yeah.
part. Not caring is not accepting. Right. Knowing you're gonna die
that's
is
apathy.
not exactly. Apathy isn't gonna help you. It'll help you survive some situations momentarily or in a day. So it can be useful. Apathy can be very useful. All right. You might work for somebody that is just an absolute asshole, but you have to have the job. So you have to remain apathetic about that
Right.
relationship.
But
That's
acceptance
better than but acceptance, again, it's the difference. We're all going to die, right? We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Everyone here is
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
die.
Mhm.
Okay. Does that
Right.
mean you accept it because you know it?
No.
No. This is what acceptance is. All right. I've shared this in my social media a couple times. Every morning when I get up, the reason I get up at 3 is so I can work out. I exercise for an hour. When I get done exercising, I meditate. My spirituality is less. You know what? I won't get into specifics because I don't want to offend anybody or anything.
You can.
But the way my spirituality works is I meditate after I work out, and I imagine every way that I could possibly die today. Every morning,
Ooh.
maybe
Ooh.
15, 20 minutes. All I do is I think, how can I die today? What could kill me today? How could I die today? And then I get as in depth as I can. I dig into the details. I imagine I walk out my house, and before I get to my car, some idiot at 3 a.m. is drunk coming from the bar, going 100 miles an hour down the street, and he hits me. And I imagine what it'll do to my body. I envision it very, very detailed, my body being ripped apart and being crushed between cars. And then I say, that's okay. And then I move on to the next way that I might die today. And then I find a place in that when I get into those details, and I say, if I die today, that's okay. And if I die like this, that's okay. And by the time I'm getting on a bus to go to New York City, there's nothing in this world, no one in this world that can fuck with me. Because I've already died a million times before I even interacted with anyone or anything in my life.
Wow, thank you.
That's how I live. That's my spirituality. I live in a way kind of akin to Bushido. I'm very into ancient Japanese culture. Yeah, I'm very into ancient Japanese culture. And I guess that'd be the closest thing I could relate to my spirituality, because that's how samurai lived. It was by Bushido. It was basically every moment you just accept that this is your last moment. If this is your last moment, who gives a fuck what happens 5 minutes from now? Who cares who gets elected? Who cares about this disaster that's about to happen? I might die right now.
It's almost
that's
like
how I live every moment.
Like if you're dead right now, everything else is extra.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Actually, thank you so much for that. The way you put it, it's, I don't know, like you made my brain happy right now.
It may be like a simpler way to think about it is just simply imagine you've lived your whole life and you died, and whatever your faith is, your God says, you know what, I'm going to give you 10 more years. Would you live those 10 more years anything like you lived the 70 up until the point you died? I fucking hope you wouldn't. And if you would, it'd be a waste. And God just wasted his time too.
Right. Yeah, thank you.
If you were given something after it had been taken away, that's how you need to think about your life every day. Think about it as if it had already been taken away, but you were gifted with waking up today.
Thank you, Wolf. You're a beautiful soul. Thank you so much for that.
I
can see how you got
all
over
I can do is try to, my life has changed so much in the last 2-3 years, and I'm in a place that I didn't ever imagine. I didn't know it existed, that I could be at such peace. So it's my pleasure to try to help other people, because to be frank, I don't see anyone around me hardly ever that I would even, that to me, that feels like they're anywhere near the level of just ease that I feel in my life, despite everything going on in the world.
Yeah. I can see it in your eyes. You're intense. You've seen stuff, man. Like, I have a lot of respect for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I like what Brand quoted the Apostle Paul and said, I face death every day, brothers, as surely as I boast about you in Christ Jesus our Lord.
What verse is that?
I think that's cool. I don't know. Brand, if you want to put the reference, that'd be great.
That's a good one. Yeah, I don't know what I believe in. I mean, I'm trying to like fake it till I make it. I have this little crucifix my aunt gave me, and I'm wearing it. It's hard.
The most intelligent, because I've done a lot of real deep dives into theology too, because of my past. I mean, one of the main things that happened to me at a certain point when I was 14, 15 is I was like, hold on a second, what am I doing in terms of being in a cult? You know, I started thinking about it. I had a period of time in my life where, and I would say I'd relate it more to my upbringing, but I had a period of time in my life where I was militantly atheist. In fact, I thought if you believed in God, you were stupid.
Oh, I was a militant atheist from 12 to 30.
Yeah,
I know exactly what that
feels. It was kind of my mid-20s. It was like got away from the cult, then joined the military, and then the combination of the two, being raised in a cult and then going somewhere and seeing what two human beings are capable of doing to each other, and realizing how fucking horrific we can be to each other.
That destroys
I
faith.
decided that if God was real, he didn't give a fuck. So why should I? That's what I decided. But
right.
Where I'm at now in my life when it comes to, I guess, faith and spirituality is the most intelligent theologians that I've ever read, and the most intelligent religious scholars that are alive. They've always said it's a stupid cliche. It's more than one road to the top of the mountain. There's, as long as you're on a boat going to the island, who cares what boat you're on? This kind of thing. This is how I treat people now. I don't concern myself with it. The way I look at it is, if you have a system of structure in your life, even if I disagree with it, or I don't like it, or I think you're wrong, if that structure in your life helps you and it makes you better, it helps you to treat others better, and more importantly, it helps you treat yourself better, then how is that wrong?
Yeah.
It can't be wrong.
You know, I almost feel like it doesn't even, I don't want to offend anybody, but it almost feels like it doesn't even matter if Jesus exists. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say I say I believe in feeding homeless people, but I never feed homeless people. You never see me giving them sandwiches. You never see me giving them money or anything. But I say I believe in feeding homeless people. Do I really believe it? I don't think I do.
No.
I think I'm only saying that I do. But if I go and feed homeless people, if I act on it and I don't even say it, then I believe it whether I say it or not. So in order for me to believe in Jesus, I have to be like Jesus. Doesn't matter if I think he existed or if he didn't exist. If I'm like him, I believe in him. And I think one of the problems I have is with the word belief, because I think we confuse the word belief with thinking. Like, if I think
Yeah.
if I think Jesus existed and if I believe Jesus exists, it's not the same thing. Like, thinking something existed and
Yeah,
and
one is
being like,
an intellectual connection, and the other is a connection that, frankly, even science can't explain right now because they don't
I know
understand consciousness.
exactly. As an atheist, I can never understand that because everything has to be logical, of course. But like
Right.
faith,
Faith and reason are irreconcilable by their very definitions. That
faith
kind of
is
shit. Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
tricky for me. I know for some people, and I'm jealous of some people that like, yeah, I've had faith my whole life. I'm like, how? Like, you've never been challenged? Like, oh, I'm challenged all the time. It's like, do you not have logic? It's like, I do have logic. It's like, are you sure? And it's like,
So
like, go
I
ahead.
can say for me, it was an acknowledgement over the years. And Indy already knows we've known each other for quite a few years now. But so I didn't grow up in a religious home. So I didn't go to church as a kid and wasn't that. I actually grew up going to visit my parents' other child in prison. So I kind of just went into visitation mode as all my whole childhood was just, I was wandered myself. That's actually was my problem. So I had an anger issue, joined the army, got sent home, went to the penitentiary twice before the light started to come on. The first time I went to the penitentiary, got sent to a unit that was nothing. It was called the Gladiator Farm for a reason. All you did was go out there and beat the dirt during the day, go in the evening and chunk dukes. So you throw your little pistols every evening, and every day you go beat the ground. Well, I got into Satanism at that time because, I had the same, every generation has, I think, a wave of the whole, if God really cared, whatever. And so everybody adopts that thing because everybody has so much negativity in their life. And in prison, you really are experiencing all the negative. And that's the ugliness of humanity.
Yeah, that's hell.
Is in a prison unit. This is people coexisting within a fence. And you're seeing humans in their true nature right there, in my opinion, because they can act right and everything will fall in place. Or you can show your character. The gray suits don't give a shit. They go stand on the outside. Anyway, I rode the meth dragon. That was my thing back in the day. I did the whole biker wannabe. I'm a biker thug. It was, for me, I'd gotten a wreck. Well, first it was when my kids were born. That's when things really started there was something different. What I've been doing and what I'd been thinking was wrong. Here's a blessing. Where'd this come from? And then I got ran over on my bike and I actually died. And got put on life flight. They were doing hey, you're going to come back. Finally, I came back. I guess I started looking at things a little different. And then since I became disabled here these past 5-6 years, and I'm more in a chair bound thing, and was always an active person. I do it myself. It's been real hard, and I faced a depression. And Indy will tell you, anybody that's known me from the beginning knows, I started this whole YouTube thing. Every day every night I went to sleep, I asked God, going, I'm totally cool if this is the night. I'm ready to go. I don't want to be here no more. And to be honest, the only thing that's ever when I was younger, I attempted suicide. What's ever prevented me here in my adult years And I guess it's the general way of saying it is it's like the Jesus. Okay, if I believe in Jesus, and I really do, so I'm just saying this was the beginning, because it was kind of like, what are the pros and cons? So if I live this life, okay, I can be happy. This is positive. Or if I live this life, I can go ahead and assume it's happy. I can try to do my worldly shit. But when that moment comes, what if I'm wrong? Because then that's eternity. So what have I got to lose? What's the negative of this? But then I realize nowadays I see so much pollution in the language that gets talked. It's like if you even mention God, you're already associated to somebody's experience they had with a church. And it's like, well, okay, well, that's not my connection.
Right.
Mine's on a spiritual. And it's just like, and you actually keyed on part of it too, Wolf. The scientists can't even explain that God spark. You can clone this and you can do all this, but you can't mimic, because that's, and to me, I look at that and then I watch life, just wildlife, plant life, everything. And you start kind of going, there's more. There's just more than this science. And I'm not an evolution person, because I watch a tadpole turn into a frog to this day. I've done it my whole life. Why is it that theory is not happening anywhere else ever again? But yet this is where we came from. But I think that there's an intent to get your eyes off of God. And the one turn back to God is servitude. I don't think society nowadays likes that language. What?
Which is pretty
Subservient.
ironic.
I'm not going to be subservient to nobody. I ain't
Which
even
is-
nobody.
Which is very ironic, because the structures that have been constructed to control us, we sure are happy to sit in front of all day staring at. So to your point, Yep,
exactly.
See, for me, like after listening to Rescue's story, Wolf's story, and I'm sure like everyone has a story to tell. The thing that really, like anyone else, I have dark days and days where you're like, man, like, like you question everything, you've learned as a child, and you grow up and about God and everything, and then the thing that really stops me and pulls me back every time to the point where I can't deny that there is a higher power is when I just observe all these stories in everyone's lives, my life over here, like Wolf shared his story, Rescue, you just shared your beautiful story as well. I mean, if you say that there's no higher power or no God or whatever, then is all of this just by coincidence? Like, is everything a coincidence that's happened? Like, I think there could be a movie made on everyone's lives, like every
Yeah.
person's life.
I know
There can be a
people that
movie.
are way more interesting. I know people that are their life is way more interesting than any movie.
Yeah,
I've
no,
ever seen.
and that's my point. Like, and not just about interesting, it's about, how they.
Compelling is probably a better word.
Yeah, and it's like, is it all like by coincidence? Like, I just can't, like, my mind cannot
Well,
agree with everything being a coincidence, because if
Here-
there's no God, there's no
Mhm.
higher power controlling everything, then everything is just a coincidence, then
Here, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You weren't finished.
no.
See, this is yeah, like everything that both of you guys have said, like all of this is, it makes complete sense to me. But you can give just a little bit different perspective. See, I feel like people often, and I'm not accusing anyone here of this, just in general, I feel like people often can't hold two things in their mind. If something is telling them, whether it's just a social thing or it's even in your own head, you're telling yourself these are opposing things. I think we have a tendency of doing that. See, my thing is, I have no problem with accepting that someone can have faith and be extremely logical. I have no problem accepting that.
Yep.
I'm a very scientifically minded person. It's just how I am. I talked to, and I think during the interview, like I'm doing math right now, just for fun, as I'm having this conversation. And I mean that in my mind, it doesn't stop. I'm right. I have things going on in my head that sometimes I have things going on in my head. I don't even have the words to describe what they are. I literally get deep into theoretical physics and stuff just in my mind while my day goes on. And is much of a scientifically, whatever you want to call it, because that can be and we don't have to go down that rabbit hole, but that can be an entire fucking religion and cult on its own. However,
Yep.
I'm talking about the scientific method, not the science. That it's very much how I think of a lot of things. But then at the same time, I get up in the morning and meditate about my death. Like the spirituality and the science, as far as I'm concerned, they don't have to be these mutually exclusive things.
100%.
It's but I think to Rescue's point, that's how a lot of people are. A lot of people, they want it. It's another dichotomy. It's another polarizing thing for people to be fucking upset at each other about.
Well, it's the same thing they've done with like the whole denominations and all these different branches.
Yep.
Well, they've polluted that down. Well, the science, I think back in the day, science, because it's just a repercussion. Here's just a dumbed down version of just my 2 cents, but it's like we knew it from the moment we ate the apple. And God basically told us, okay, so you're fixing to know. It's a tree of knowledge. So here comes, you're going to know all the goods and bads now. You didn't know all that. It's kind of like you were talking about when you were growing up. You didn't know anything else to compare. Well, I believe that when we first started, that's all we knew was a paradise. Once we go, oh, wait, here you go. Eat. If you'll eat this, all of a sudden we knew pros and cons. Well, we in the beginning with science, it was just discovering how things worked, the gravity, just basic stuff. Nowadays, though, the science is becoming another way to pollute down that belief system.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, the science says it is impossible. The science, and it's like, so you're trying to make that a category, and that's what they're doing.
Right. If you can't, like if somebody says anything if they use the word science, but they can't show me the publication that was peer reviewed, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I need to see your experience. I need to see but again, I'm crazy. Like I actually have, if anybody wants to know a weird thing about me, I can't remember the site right now, but there's actually a great site. See, normally like scientific publications, you actually have to pay to see them. You have to, like, sometimes there are subscription service. I would look this up though. There is a free place you can go. Again, I'm sorry, I can't remember what it is, but literally every single scientific publication that gets published, even if it's not for public consumption, you can read. But my real point was that good science is really constantly trying to disprove what someone else is claiming to be true. That's what actual science is. Science isn't like, we know this, okay?
Or discovery.
And right,
What
exactly.
Me about science, when people say it's like science says, like science is not an entity floating around.
Right, exactly.
Science is hard work.
The people who do that are the same people who would use a position of authority in any other conversation or situation. I'm this, so I know, and I'm going to tell you. But again, I'm kind of more along the lines, I guess, thought process that Avoid was sharing about how, to me, it's not important to decipher whether or not something's true. If I can have value, what I mean is by like spirituality. I don't know if God exists or not. I don't know what God exists or doesn't. I mean, there's 5,137 gods being worshipped right now on earth. I'm not talking about historically. I mean today, right now. I don't know if any of them are real, but I don't know if any of them aren't. But I do know that every single teaching that has value in it is worth me using in my life. And this isn't my story, but I'm going to tell it like it's mine because it's more impactful. I went to a friend's house when I was a teenager who was atheist. But again, remember, this isn't my story. I'm just telling it as if it was mine because it makes more sense. Right. So I'm a teenager. Mm-hmm. I go to my friend's house. He's an atheist, an absolute atheist. I'm just a dumb kid. I don't know the difference. Somebody tells me to believe in this God, I do, because I'm just a kid. But I know this kid is an atheist. I know he's militantly atheist. And I go into his house, and in the kitchen, there's a picture of Jesus on the wall. So I start making fun of him. Like, dude, you're an atheist. Why do you have Jesus on the wall? And he looks at me and he said, well, I was reading the Bible and he seems like a really cool guy that did a lot of really good things. And whether or not he's God's son, I think he's worth us knowing who he was and what he did, so we can try to practice that in our lives.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that. I used to jokingly say that Goku, it was my Jesus. Goku
The void
was a
your
character.
the void your volume is too low, bro.
God damn it.
Push that gain up like you're gonna play a solo.
Can you hear me now?
It's better.
Am I there? Am I there? A little bit?
Yep, that's better.
Okay. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, it's a little bit quiet still, but it's better.
Good Lord. I blame Ray. Give me 1 second.
Of course
I
you do.
also like I
There it
have
is.
I have a different perspective too, though, because like I very, very sincerely and deeply believe in the Constitution of the United States. I think it is the most coherent, best written founding document that exists and ever has in history. And as an example, yeah, I swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. So even in the days, even when I would have called myself an atheist or even agnostic, I'd still kill or die for anyone's right in my country to practice any religion they want. You know what I mean? It's like there's levels to how you react to something. I may not agree with someone who's a Muslim, or I might not agree with someone who's Jewish or someone who's Christian. But I live in a country where our Constitution says they can all practice their religion however the fuck they want. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with individual liberty. You know what I mean? I just think it's just one more thing that has been constructed for us to argue about and be at each other's throats about that is absolutely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, can you hear me now, by the way?
Oh, you sound real loud
Good.
now.
My cat.
You know what?
Sorry.
Can you
now I'm
turn
too
your
loud.
mic down, please?
Yes,
I don't
better.
like it.
Okay, let me turn it down 100%.
No, it's good. It's good. The void is good.
All right, enough of that.
Hey, there's a button
okay.
at the bottom. It says stop cam.
Yeah, I know. I'm a musician, right? Supposedly, and I can't figure this out.
Finally, I can hear you now.
Sorry, I don't even know how, dude. I haven't figured out yet how to use my DAW through to live, like on a live. I don't even know how to connect.
The irony of life.
But same here.
Good
bro.
night.
Same here.
Good night, Joe, and thank you,
Good night, Joe.
Ronan, for being here. And
I was gonna say that I used to jokingly say
anybody
that
that I haven't gotten to shout out in chat, you're all here. I'm seeing everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, everybody. I was gonna say that I used to jokingly say that Goku is my Jesus, and Goku is a fictional character from the show called Dragon Ball Z, and he doesn't exist, obviously. But I believed in his values. He never fought. He never compared himself to other people. He always fought for only to get stronger, only to get better. And I identify with that so much because I'm constantly just like I literally practice guitar 10 hours a day. Sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more. But I'm always like, if I'm watching something,
It
I'm
shows.
playing.
Yeah, I was just
I'm
gonna
playing.
say.
I'm a loser. Like I don't know
No,
anything about the news or politics or anything like that. I know a little bit. I kind of know what I believe in a way. I know who I'm going to vote for. I'll tell you that much right now. But when it comes to like Jesus and stuff like that, and philosophy, like music and philosophy are the two things that I do the most. And when it comes to Jesus, like he's such an important character. Like he really matters whether he existed or not. Now, obviously, there's that. I think as soon as you believe in him, something new is going to open. Apparently, supposedly, and the logical part of me can't like break through, and I don't know how to break it or if I should break it. And I feel like I should because my panic attacks have been like consuming my life.
It's kind of like what I was saying earlier, though. It's the acceptance that two opposing things can coexist. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. You can be a logical person, and you can decide if so. Again, like I said, with that, having that foundation, that structure, if something's going to help you in your life, if it's going to make you better, it's going to make you treat other people better, and you treat yourself better.
That's what I'm missing. I'm so selfish.
Then that's something that you should seek out. And it doesn't matter what form it's in. If it's something that's going to make you better and help you treat other human beings better, then it's not wrong.
Oh.
And it can exist.
But do you believe that there is? Do you believe that there is an absolute truth, though?
That is a really
see the camera.
complicated question. That's a really complicated.
Mathematics can be.
Hold on,
absolute
though. I'll show you something. Even within mathematics, we have a lot of difficulties, and it's not difficulties like 1 + 1 doesn't equal
it's not done.
5.
Yep.
But we have a lot of problems with mathematics. All right, for one, there's things that are happening that we can observe that are happening that defy our current level of mathematics. Okay, for example, the universe seems to be expanding. Again, I'm just speaking. I'm not a scientist. From what I understand, the universe seems to be expanding to a point where galaxies that are at the edge of what we can observe from Earth are disappearing, which means that they're actually expanding away from us faster than the speed of light, which mathematically we can't do yet. Okay. Forget about physics and engineering. We can't even do that mathematically yet. Okay?
Yeah, space expands faster than the speed of light.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you think about within mathematics, okay? Think about infinity. All right. What does infinity mean?
That almost broke me one day. I thought about it really hard.
Hold on. I'm going to show you a way you can imagine infinity. Okay. This might be, it might be difficult, but it's the simplest way that I can break it down. Okay. Imagine you have a disc like a Frisbee. All right.
Yeah.
Around the edge of the disc are like little windows. Okay. So this Frisbee is sitting on a flat plane. On that flat plane are numbers. As you go around the disc, those numbers get bigger. However, the disc is also moving through space. So every time you return to the point that you think you started at, you did not, because the disc is at a different point in space. So therefore, if you do that indefinitely, that's infinity. Here's a problem. There's different kinds of infinity mathematically. Different numbers. Counting numbers, like if you were to put them on a spreadsheet, the way they line up, there are bigger infinities. Transcendental numbers, non-fractional numbers, counting numbers, prime numbers, they all become different infinities. But the way you can see that is take that same disk that you just had. Okay, your disk, it's got the numbers and it's spinning and it's going through space. So the numbers just constantly going, raising. Okay, take the disk. Now get another disk bigger and put it around it.
Yeah.
And get another disk bigger and put it around that.
Some infinities are bigger than others.
So my point is, even math, which is the, I guess, purest form of science, because it's where everything starts, is with math. I mean, everything we do started with an equation. That's how it became physics. That's how it got engineered. And that's how it became material science. It starts with math. But even within math, there are things that aren't understood. And there are things within math you can't even fathom. Like, you can't really fathom infinity. Even that example I just gave, it's a somewhat simple way to kind of visualize it. But it's not, you can't fathom it. So
can I share, well, when you're done, can I share an analogy of an infinity that I had heard?
Yeah, you can go ahead now, because honestly, I forgot what fucking point I was even trying to make.
Okay, so I had heard,
understood.
I'm not as mathematical as that, but I had heard that imagine a marble ball the size of Earth. And every 10,000 years, a dove comes around and clips the side of that marble ball with its wing. In the time that it would take that dove to turn the entire marble ball into dust is only the beginning of infinity.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. But again, it's just the way we. Oh, you know what? Indy asked me a question. That's how this started. I can't remember what she asked me.
And then she bailed.
But the point I think I was getting to was...
Yo, that's a good point. Where did
she got lost into infinity?
She asked about, is there absolute truth or something along those lines, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with the question. Not with the question, but with the idea of trying to answer that question. Everything, as far as I can tell, is based on how I perceive it and then how I choose to react to it, completely subjectively. That doesn't mean there aren't objective truths, even truths like faith-based truths, like the existence of God. It doesn't mean that those things aren't real. But the problem is, for me, I don't feel that with infinite knowledge that it would be that it'd be reasonable to confidently say that anything is absolute truth. And again, to go back to science, even within the scientific method, this is going to fuel some more stuff with people that in science, there is no fact. There's statistical probability. Okay. So even things that we know, okay, gravity, most people, if you said, is gravity real? Yes. Okay. Well, what is it? It doesn't, you'd get different answers.
Put it in a jar, paint it red.
Yeah, we don't know what gravity is. We just know how it works.
But my point is, that's a bad example. Get it, something that we know. Okay, we understand mathematically the speed of light, right?
Yeah.
Even though it's a mathematical equation, it's still a statistical probability. Now, the way that someone can misconstrue science is they can say something is true, because within the scientific method, if you reach a certain threshold of like 90%, that might as well be 100, because the difference between 81% and 90% could be the chance of you seeing something within your lifetime and something happening once in a billion years. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So even in the scientific method, nothing that anyone has ever told you is absolutely 100% true. It's based on a scale of probability. So something could be 51% probability mathematically, and within the scientific method, you can say that is a fact. Because if it happens more than half the time, it's true within the scientific method. And then again, there's different thresholds for different things. And then there are certain things that are mathematically basically absolute, I guess. But nothing, even within the world of observation and measurement, is actually true. Nothing is true. It's just a scale of probability of from 0 to 100.
Say if you're born, you're going to die, and that's a given fact.
But do you know why that is?
I would say that at a given point in time with medical and technological innovation, it might not be. So I couldn't
somewhere,
even say
but as of right now, that's a fact.
To be fair, Elisha, however you would pronounce it in the Bible,
Elijah
was brought up and did not experience death. There's actually, I believe, 3 people in the Bible that
Jesus raised his friend Lazarus from the dead.
It depends on how you define death too.
Right. But my theory for
I think in those particular instances, it's what we defined it as like not here on earth, dead, body's not inanimate.
Right. No longer on
like in
plane.
the grave.
For the science, because you're right, nothing, but for the science, I believe like the reason science only takes you up to, 99.9% or whatever is because in my opinion, what I truly believe, science can only take you up to God's will. So you can,
because like with man, these things are impossible, but with God, all things are impossible. And
right. So
it's not that he doesn't care. It's really more that like once sin entered the world, like Rescue was saying, once we know the difference between right and wrong, like basically death entered the world. And so it's a fallen world. So like, it's not that he doesn't care. It's just that he highly respects your free will. Everyone's free will. And so what comes with that is consequences. And so it just kind of compounds. Talk about math.
I was thinking in the regard of, so to me, science will take you up, so for instance, 3 + 2 is 5. We know 3 + 2 is always 5 until 3 fish plus 2 fish, 5 loaves feeds 5,000, and so like the point of that just being that, science can take you so far, but right where God's will starts, science ends, because no matter what no matter
his will, he is outside of his creation, so he's not afflicted, or his creation isn't applied to him. Like he's not affected by time or the creation. So like if it's not his will, even though it's physical law, it's whatever, it's if it's not your time, if it's not your will, it if it's not his will, it won't happen.
Right.
Or it will happen. And it doesn't matter what we think stands in the way.
Yeah.
Well, I heard most of that, but I think you guys could tell I'm having some technical difficulties on my end.
Yeah, are you okay?
I keep getting my internet.
Oh, you're here.
Dropping. Yeah,
I didn't notice you came back.
Dropping, so I'm like dropping in and coming back in, but I did hear most of the conversation. I was muted. Yeah, great combo. But I
And you cut out again.
You cut out. No
Uh-oh.
audio.
I blame Ray.
okay, wait. How about now?
You're good.
That's better.
There you
I
go.
was going to say
Um,
the statement. If you say the statement, there is no absolute truth. Even that statement is an absolute truth. It's,
I know.
You can,
Every
almost
time I hear
not even
someone say that,
define
I
it
say.
without-
Every time I hear
Mhm.
someone say there is, like when you hear Neil deGrasse Tyson, they're like, there are no absolutes. It's like, are you absolutely sure?
Mhm.
Yeah, are you sure about that? Yeah.
Right. Hi, Misty.
The
I
conundrum.
find I
15th, I don't know if you saw. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
Oh, I don't know if you cut out again or if I interrupted.
Right, that's what-
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say.
Go ahead.
I like, again, I believe in individual liberty. If 1 + 1 is 5 to somebody, I'm cool with it. Like, it isn't hurting me. You know what I mean?
But what if that person was treating like you in an accident and needed
But
actual real thought
here's-
process that all our medical stuff is based off of, and yet they're thinking now 2 + 2 is 5. So
well,
do they
to
do
give
the
you
medication right?
I'll give you a great example.
Right. That's
The
what I was
cult-
going to say. Until it
the
affects
cult-
societal.
Right. The cult that I grew up in, there was a lot of medical intervention available we were not allowed to have.
Right.
So that give you an example right there. So, I think I can't remember what all, it's been so long now. I know like we couldn't have blood transfusions. And that was, I can't remember the scripture, but it's based on a scripture. But either way,
Right.
my point is we're all having a very civil conversation. I think this is what most people are. I think most people, even with different ideas, bringing different ideas to the table, I think most people are willing to have like a civil conversation, even with differing views. And that's my point is that I don't have to get so wrapped up in it because I'm cool with whatever anybody wants to do. If you're not hurting somebody, you're not stealing from somebody, you're not on somebody's property, honestly don't care. And I don't mean I don't care, I accept. If that's much better
That's
word.
a better way of putting it. Yeah.
I accept it. If it doesn't hurt me and it helps you,
Right.
then I support it 100%. If it does
Yeah.
not
It's
hurt me,
condensed
and it
down to
helps
you do
Yeah.
you, boo.
yeah, and not just that. It's I support it. If what you do, what you have in your life, if it helps you, it's not just that I'm cool with it. I support
I'm selective.
you.
I'm selective because that's a real broad term.
Well, again, I believe in individual
Ooh,
liberty
I love this.
100%.
Yeah, but that's dude, like right now in this day and age, that's
I
like
do
a
too.
lot of child stuff. So that's like them taking that word and trying to make it minor attracted people now because they're trying to desensitize that. But it
Right,
real
but
needs
again-
to be real, and we need to acknowledge what it truly is.
But then that's when it comes to that. That's not just you doing you, because then it's impacting other
Right.
people and the
That's
way
right.
they're
That's why
pushing that. It's
that's-
not, so then it kind of goes with that.
That's why I
Mhm.
caveat with, if you're not hurting someone, stealing from someone, or
Right.
on someone's property, I don't care what you're doing. Believe me, if you're hurting someone,
By Buzzacino, and then 15th, if you could pull up the
people
song
have already
by
had
him.
to deal with me with
I
that.
have it.
And sorry if I think I'm still glitching out a little bit. So if I'm talking over
Is the audio
anybody,
glitching? for everybody
sorry
else?
about that.
You sound fine.
I think-
for me. And actually, I gotta say too,
There's a
I just
little bit of a
realized
delay.
that it's midnight. I need to go get 3 hours of sleep.
All right.
Oh no!
I,
Yeah.
I
Thank you
I
so
really-
much.
yeah, I really appreciate being
It was
on.
good meeting you, Wolf.
Wolf,
Yeah,
thank you.
It was good to meet everybody. It's
What's up, Chuck?
great. It seems like a great community over here. You guys are amazing.
Yeah. It really is.
I had a lot of.
Well,
I
come
had a lot
back
of
and
fun.
join us.
Thank
And
you for being yourself.
I'd love to come back anytime. And I know, especially like Devoid. It seemed like Void. Sorry, did I just call you Devoid?
I call him the void. You can call him.
Developable Void. Yeah. Hey. And like for you, and this is true for anybody. Okay, like if something is connected with you, and you want to talk, feel free to
I will.
jump in my DMs, whatever. I think we follow each other on IG. don't we?
Michael, are you on Discord?
Absolutely 100% not.
That's a long story.
Never. Absolutely, Discord
Okay,
can go.
gotcha.
And
I can find you on Instagram.
I accept that Discord exists, and everyone else must accept I do not use it.
Yeah.
How's that? But,
Yeah,
yeah.
Discord hasn't heard
All
anybody
right.
yet.
Thank you again for coming up.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wolf. I really appreciate you.
Good night,
Thank
Wolf.
you.
Yep. I hope you guys have continue to have a great night. It was a good conversation. I really enjoyed it. And thanks for playing my music.
Thank you, sir.
Take care, Wolf.
Yeah, of course.
Make tomorrow a good day.
I'm gonna. It's already here.
That's it.
Don't worry.
It's already tomorrow.
Yeah, it's already here.
Good night, guys.
Got off to a great
Night.
start.
Good
Good night. All right. Buzzacino had a song that he pull up. He said it would have clear, but that's okay. So I know Buzzacino has a book that's just been published. Buzz, if you're able to put the information in the chat for where people can purchase your book. Right, Chuck? Cracking up. Okay, 15th. Can you guys hear me still, or in general?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, great. Just keep cutting out.
Should I go, Indy?
Yep.
All right. Let's go.
Sometimes all you need is a pair of loving arms to comfort you when the day's gone bad. Sometimes all it takes is a smile to warm your heart and cheer you up when you are feeling sad. Just remember to give those loving arms in return and smile at every chance you can. 'Cause turn around is fair play and love builds love. Do this and you will be a better human. Sometimes all you need is a little bit of help when you cannot make it on your own. Sometimes all it takes is kind words to change your mind and help you understand you're not alone. Just remember to give that bit of help in return and make kind words part of your daily plan. 'Cause turn around is fair play and love builds love. Do this and you will be a better human. Sometimes all you need is a roof over your head when you find yourself out in the cold. Sometimes all it takes is some time to fill your soul. Good company is worth its weight in gold. Just remember to give some shelter in return. Make time for friends when you can. 'Cause turn around is fair play and love builds love. Do this and you will be a better human. 'Cause turn around is fair play and love builds love. Do this and you will be a better human.
No, that is cool.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so
Pacino,
much,
good job.
Buzzacino.
That's awesome.
We love it.
Hey, Mr. Smith. Thanks for coming up.
By the way, what's up, okay? Tina? Garrett?
Oh, you guys,
Mr. and Mrs.
computers
Smith.
being you guys. Mr. Smith, have you said anything yet? I don't think I'm hearing you yet.
Yeah, I said hello, but you're glitching out a lot.
Oh, it's
Audio's low.
Yeah, it might be on my end too, but I think Mr. Smith, for some
No.
reason, your audio is really low.
Yeah, it's low over here too.
15th, I know you had Oh yeah,
Oh
there we
wait,
go.
try it again,
Yep.
Mr. Smith. That sounded
Much better.
Is that better?
Oh, there you go. Now
Yeah,
you're
it's a lot
back.
better.
Hi, all.
Hey, Mr.
What's up,
Smith.
Mr. Smith?
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too, Indy.
It's still, you guys, is that if you can even hear me?
Did we lose?
No, you
Oh, there
cut
she
off.
is.
Can you guys hear me now?
No,
Yep.
now it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's on my end.
You make up your
15.
mind, Indy.
Do
Are you
you
here or not?
play a song? Can you hear me? I can't
Yep.
even tell.
Yeah.
15. If I'm coming through, would you like to play the song "Lost"? I know I'd wanted to play it last time and we didn't get to it. And if you want to
Alright.
talk a little bit about the song.
Sure. Yeah. So this one is one of my earliest instrumentals. I think this was the first one that really, really had an impact on a lot of people because I wrote it bang in the middle of the pandemic and with everything that was going on in so many people's lives. And I had some family members. I lost some family members to it as well. But at the same time, I lost a very dear friend of mine a few months before this. The intro guitar riff is what I came up with the day that the incident happened, which is basically him and his two boys, both like 10 and 8 years old. They were all out for a picnic by a river, and the younger kid, he's trying to take a selfie or something near really close to the river, and he tripped or slipped and he fell into the river. And his older brother, who's just 10, he jumped after him, and then my friend jumped after both of them. And then, call it fate, as fate had it, he caught up with them, and he managed to just push them, and they got stuck in the rocks on the side, and some people pulled them out, and my friend went missing, and he wasn't found for 5 months after that. And the day I came up with the intro riff to this one is when he went missing. When the thing happened, and I was actually supposed to meet him that very week, but because we were going through the second wave of the pandemic, everyone was like, "Yeah, you know what? Just don't," because he lived in a city like 4 hours from me. So everyone was like, don't go, just wait for a few weeks." Because I think back then the protocol used to be if there's a new wave or something, just wait for 3 weeks. So that people quarantine and for 3 weeks, and then apparently you're going to be okay. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go at him in a few weeks. But I never got a chance to see him. And so, yeah, this it's about that. It's about life in general, about a loss, personal loss that we all experience in our lives, and yeah, that's what it's about.
All right, thanks for sharing that with us, 15.
Thank you. I'll play it. Let's go.
Absolutely
class.
beautiful. Hmm. So beautiful,
Thank you.
15th. And knowing the stories behind your songs always just makes them hit even harder, you know?
What's
Yeah.
up, Huckleberry?
This one,
Right,
Lucid
exactly
and
that.
By Your Side, but are all like connected to him. Even though I released this after Lucid, but the melody in the beginning was I came up with that the day he went missing, and then 5 months later I was working on Lucid. Actually, I was in the middle of the song, and I was gonna come in with a hard hitting solo in the second half. That's when I got the news that they found him, and after that I just changed the second half of Lucid, and then a few months later, Manny knew my story, and with 16th on the way, then we made By Your Side, which is kind of like a letter from me to my kid, but also something that my friends, boys, both of them can listen to in a few years and imagine it to be a letter from their dad to them. So I sent it to his sister as well. She said once they're a bit older, she's gonna play it for them.
That'd be awesome.
That's great. I love that. That's got to be great to hear.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hope you're seeing all these comments in the chat. Your music really hits people.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you, everyone.
Shamrock. Yeah. From Michael too. And I think this happens with a lot of artists and just ability to turn such tragic experiences into an artistic masterpiece. And something that's bringing others up too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the world today, we need as much positivity as we can get.
Hi, 420.
Does
Good
seem
to
that
see you,
way.
Well Dragon.
420's here because the party
That
can get
was so
started, huh?
amazing. Right?
I miss weed.
Yeah.
What's up, 420?
Moonchild's on it. Yeah. All right. Well, Mr. Smith, are you up for playing a song?
Yeah, of course. If it's all right,
right.
with 15th Bend, can I play one of his tracks?
Oh my God, Smith, are you
Yeah,
gonna play Memory?
Mr. Smith.
Go on, Indy.
Funky. Is that true for everybody else?
You cut out.
You cut out there. We didn't catch that.
Well, I'm cutting out, but I'm trying to ask if Mr. Smith's voice is okay. Is it sounding weird to you guys, or is that just on my end?
No, Mr.
I
Smith
would
is
say
just
a
from
little,
another dimension.
little bit too much gain.
Yeah, okay. No problem.
Put more gain.
More gain.
More gain. More cowbell.
There you go.
Is that better?
Cane in the ass is over
There you
here.
go.
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Right.
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, and so hopefully the audio will be
Good night,
okay.
Ozark. Thanks for being here.
Mr. Smith, bro, are you gonna play what I think you're gonna play?
No, actually, no. I was going to do that on a more special occasion.
Okay. All right.
Are you gonna play what I think 15 thinks you're gonna play?
Maybe. Well, this is 15th Bend featuring another guitarist that we all know, known as Hetriani, and this is called The Return.
Oh, dang,
Right on.
Mr. Smith. Mr.
I always
Smith.
love watching you, brother. It's always so cool.
Nice one, thank you.
Like those.
I couldn't help pushing it a bit into the metal zone 15th, you know? I had to do it.
That was awesome.
That was amazing, man. Hell yeah.
That was great. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Hey, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants with
You're
this, you
warmed
know?
up.
It's great. Yeah.
And you're a giant yourself.
Yeah, you're a giant, bro. Like, I'm no giant. Triani is, you are, I'm not.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Man, good lord. I love your whole setup too. Just the way your camera's right there and you got your giant drum set. It's fucking amazing.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah.
It's good fun to be behind it, you know? It's a good place to be.
Oh,
nice
man,
place to
yeah.
work.
I'd be there 10 hours a day.
I am. Basically.
Well, I'm glad you're back at it, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, thanks, Indy. I've been behind the kit for 7 hours so far today.
There you go. Hell yeah.
Oh, shit.
You know? Yeah. I can quite happily spend 35 minutes doing just this.
Yeah. Nice.
Quite happily.
You weren't doing music for a while?
No, I've had to take some time out for a bit.
Okay.
I've uploaded a couple of videos on YouTube, but I've actually been taking some time out for music. I've had a few things happening, going on. You know what life's like.
Well, I hope you're okay.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been interesting, but I'm good. I'm all good now. There's been a change of recording studio as well, so it's been a little bit hectic. I had about 6 miles of cable to install as well, you know.
Good lord.
Yeah.
So,
How are you liking the new studio setup, though?
I'm really enjoying it, to be honest. It's been really good. It's felt good, and it's really nice to have the full session kit back out as well, to be able to do whatever I really want now when I sit down at the kit. It's lovely.
Yeah. Man, right on.
And I can play another track if
All
you
right,
want,
well-
because it's...
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm actually going to leave the stream and try coming back in. So if you want to go ahead and play one or two, that would be great.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, that's all right.
We got this. We got this, Indy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You said
Yeah,
you
I
were
know,
going
I
down a
got you
metal route or something, right?
Yeah, I've been working for a while on an Ed B metal track, a thrash track, up at 180s. And I've got it cracked now. I've got it ready. It's pretty much ready to take live. But I want to do it. I want to do it live. So for the first time, I actually play it on a stream because it's been a bit of a journey for me, to be honest, as a drummer, working with this track. I've never really done metal before, and I've certainly not been a thrash drummer. So it's been a job of work, but I've really enjoyed it, you know.
Yeah.
And then obviously, you know what it's like. As soon as you start to get into a different musical field, it opens you up to all sorts of little nuances that you didn't realize were there.
You know, especially as a drummer, I'm assuming you're usually the one who lays down the first track and everybody plays to you.
Yes.
This is so different, right?
Yes.
The opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, the drum track that Ed put in has never been played by a human being.
Yeah, all right.
So it'll be the first time when I play it live.
Assuming you're a human being yourself.
It's all debatable, isn't it? Who knows? We could be in a simulation, man. You never know, do you?
You're the Smith.
Yeah, you never know. Is this real? Was Bill Hicks right? It's all just a dream, you know.
Oh yeah, this is Bill Hicks' world.
Yeah, it's just a ride, you know. Everything we know is a frequency reduced to a slow-moving vibration.
Even
It's
rain.
just a ride, man. It's just a ride. Okay, this is by an amazing guy called Folk and Blueser, and it's a song called Elizabethtown Ramada.
Oh, yes.
One summer night, riding out of Alabama, heading home, Michigan bound. Rain fell from the sky like a river, had to stop and no vacancy was all we found. And the southern rain fell like a river that night. Little did I know, soon a cold chill would run down my spine. So we rolled on 81 miles to Elizabeth Town, till we found a place that shut it down. As soon as we walked in, my daughter started crying, "Daddy, I don't want to stay here tonight. Daddy, I don't want to stay here tonight. Don't know what it is, but I feel scared inside." So I asked for a couple of rooms, and she said, "We don't rent the one next to us left." Said, "I'll take what you got," but when I asked her the reason, she said, "Nobody ever said." So we took the keys and we went on our way, but made a rockin' out the lobby, I guess. That turned out to be our second mistake after showing up at their desk. So we walked till we got to the end of the hall, no elevator was there to be found. Little did I know it was in that moment that I wouldn't be the same for a while. My daughter was pointing in the other direction, and not as far as I could tell. When you find these folks in a chill on my spine, this is what she said. "Why is that old woman walking around wearing an evening gown? Walking up to every table, moving all of the flowers around. Said, baby girl, ain't nobody here except you and your family." She said, "Daddy, she's standing right in front of me." Well, I tried to shrug it off. We were just tired. Picked her up, walked to the room. But as I walked down the hall, felt something creeping on me. Turned to look, there was no one around. As I walked down that hall, never felt so scared of something I couldn't see. So we opened up the door, looked inside. Coast is clear, was so routine. Got settled in, and I looked down at a card that said, "Welcome to Elizabeth Town." As I looked around that room, something still didn't feel right to me. And top it all off, door on my side of those two rooms wouldn't last for me.
I love that song. That was so good.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Nice.
I missed your intro, but did you share that that's a true story that happened to them?
Yep.
I didn't. No, but I should have done, shouldn't I? You do it. You do it
Well,
now.
I just think
You do it.
Well, I don't know if
I couldn't understand. So how did it end? Okay, so the little girl or the kid saw basically like a ghost, right? And she was messing with flowers on the table, and then was
Yes.
right in front of her. And then he picked the kid up and was walking down the hall, and
Yep.
could feel something. And then he checked out the room, and this coast seemed clear. And then I lost it after that. What happened?
But the coast seemed clear. They both went to bed. But when he went to lock the door on his side of the room wouldn't lock. And this is Elizabeth Ramada, part 1, apparently. So part 2 is going to appear at some point.
Oh,
So at the moment, we've got him and his daughter in a room that they think is haunted, and the door won't lock.
okay.
All right. I didn't know it was a part 1. That's exciting. Ooh,
And
yeah.
they've
Isn't
made
it?
they've made 2 mistakes already. Like they've already made two.
It's a real story, apparently.
Yeah, like they've already made two mistakes. First off, the kid started crying as soon as they walked in. Said, "Daddy, I don't want to be here." All right, and then I missed it. The second mistake was talking to somebody. I don't remember.
No, the second mistake was booking the room next to the room that nobody would book and that they wouldn't rent out.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And when he asked why they wouldn't rent it out, she said nobody ever said.
Okay, well, I'm very interested. All right, I've got theories. I've got
Me
questions.
too. Me too. Honestly, I can't wait.
I need part 2 ASAP.
Right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward
I'll
to
have to
it.
keep
And
you all updated when.
Like, does everything turn out okay? Like, okay? Like the
Don't
true
spoil
story.
it.
We're gonna need to know.
No, I need to know if the kid is okay. I need to know if everybody made it home. I'm gonna have anxiety if I don't like.
Nobody knows yet. Oh, the only thing I will say is, though, to make you feel better, is that don't worry, Al and his daughter made it home safely. Okay.
Okay. All right. Everything else. Okay. Well, not everything, but it's fine.
I hope that allays some of your anxiety.
All of it, totally.
Brilliant. That was a close one, wasn't it?
Yes, thank you. I feel heard.
Hey, Chad and Clay, thanks for being here.
Chad and Clay.
You guys come in. Crisis averted, right, Bran? Nice.
I just dropped the link.
Oh, here we go.
I just dropped the link to Folk and
Go ahead,
Bluesers channel as well. The guy who made the song, and then Mr. Smith added on the rhythm, I think harmonies, drums, bass, everything on it, and the song. This song has been like for the last, I think, year and a half, even on my stream. I've been playing it regularly, and then Mr. Smith was one day in the stream, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do something with it, and Mr. Smith just took the song, took it to another level. So it's amazing what these two have made together. But I dropped Folk and Bluesers link as well, the original one, if you guys want to check that out afterwards as well.
Yeah, I just subbed up.
I'm just concerned because if the song has been out for over a year and a half and we don't have part 2 yet, I just want to make sure that it's high on his priority list because I am very wanting to know.
Well, let him know. Let him know, Tiff, that you're waiting for part 2.
I may go comment. I may
Right.
do that.
We could start some kind of petition.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's all
Right.
We all want to hear it.
leave
Can we get some signs?
and say patiently awaiting part 2, but patience is running out. Something to that effect.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, welcome, Mike. Glad you're enjoying it.
Collab with Mr. Smith.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Judy.
I would
Thanks
love
for
that.
being here. Yeah, Folk and Blueser, his real name is Al, and his wife, right? Feisty,
Yeah.
they're amazing. They both have really great talent and great channel. And they both do live streams too. So please sub them up and check them out.
Good night, Yankee. Have a great night. Make tomorrow.
Good night,
a good day.
Yankee. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, and for anybody who hasn't heard that song as well, the link that 15th Ben put up to Al's original version, for me, it comes straight from the American folk tradition. It's got this very sort of haunting feel to it. It's just one man and a guitar. It's like a voice in the wilderness kind of thing. And it's a very powerful thing on its own. And to me, I prefer it as it was originally, just with Al and his voice. All I did was put what it would have been like with a band, basically.
Yeah. And when I played it the first time, all I said to Al was that, man, I wish instead of the phone mic, if you were recording into like a DAW or something and just had this, but on its own as well, 100%. That song is amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed.
really
It's
amazing.
one of those things that really stands up with just a voice and a guitar as well. It's lovely. It's a real story.
100%, 100%. Because a lot of people do that, Mr. Smith. Just a guitar, and they, like campfire style, they sing. But
Yeah.
it sounds good and everything, but it doesn't stand out like this. Like this song is like a
Yeah.
permanent on my playlist, on my
Yeah.
streaming playlist,
Mhm.
because it just immediately captures you. You're like in Elizabethtown. Like Tiff has anxiety
Yeah.
just listening to the story. It's actually true. It's amazing.
Hey,
I'm
everybody,
just
hit the
one of
Yeah,
those.
it
thumbs
like
up.
pushes you through.
I need to
Yeah.
know how it ends. Like I'll watch the end of the movie when it starts to get crazy because I'm like, I need to emotionally prepare myself if we're gonna lose this person. I need to just know now so that I don't even like them. Like fine.
You don't want to get too attached, yeah?
So
Tiff, it was
I'm
Love
the
it, Tiff.
opposite. Most people don't want spoilers, and I'm like, tell me every detail. Like what? Who
Oh,
do we like?
no.
Who do we lose?
I'm the people that don't like spoilers.
Right.
Yeah.
Me too. I don't want to like go into a movie blind, or a book for that matter.
Yeah.
Absolutely
I
not.
don't want to know what happens.
yeah.
I prefer
Mhm.
I prefer movies based on the Bible so I can have a thorough, detailed count of what has happened. I know exactly what to
Walking like
I
an
love it.
expert, right?
Right,
The
that's
book
right.
was-
I'm like,
The
let
book
me
was
tell
better.
you what's about to happen.
The book was better.
Which
The book
book?
That's great.
Devoid, what are you playing, bro?
Can you hear me?
All right, so Avoid. I saw a
No.
comment that you're gonna play for us.
There you go.
Well, I don't have
I've
any
been waiting
backing
for it.
tracks, but I do have. I want to take a page from 15's book and give you guys a little teaser for the next song.
There
Oh,
So
you
first,
go.
I need to do a little sound test. Can you hear this? First of all, can you hear it?
Sounds
Yes.
great.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What about this? Okay,
It's gating out.
it's gating out.
Yeah, it's gating out on your mic.
Damn it! Hold on, give me 1 second. It's not connected to the microphone. I didn't do a sound test. Give me 1 second. Maybe if I mute the microphone, that would help. All right, just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
It's chopping out all your sustain. We're only here in the very beginning, and then it's chopping
Yeah.
out all your sustain badly.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that.
It's a really, really heavy gate. Maybe if you go into StreamYard and turn off the noise suppression or the sound cancellation in the background.
I'm glad you're
whatever
here.
it's-
Okay. Yeah, I'm playing directly in, so it's not like it's picking up to the microphone. It shouldn't. Let me see.
Yes.
Oh yes, so much
Lovely.
better.
Better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'll go ahead and just start then. I'm gonna try to creep you guys out a little bit. This is the backing track only. I'll shred maybe a little bit later. Here we go. There we go. I hope you guys hated it.
I loved
Nice
it.
one.
Everyone loved
Nice one, man.
Right on.
it. Holy smokes. It's like fire and ice. Dang
As
it.
long as it sounded not too bad, I'm happy.
No, it sounded great.
I'm liking the time signature changes in the verses as well.
Yeah, it's everything I do.
Horrible
is-
avoid.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, it was
So,
great. Thank you so
Avoid
much.
2023? 2023?
Yeah, there
Or
you go.
24?
No, 23.
All right, my man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I hate it when
I
people
like
do
that,
that.
Cherk. It's like a storm, slow, comforting, then comes in the thunder and lightning. I like it.
Yeah, I hope I had. I mean, I wish Smith can like play some drums to that. That'd be amazing. Because the song was originally written just me and my drummer, so it's just the guitars, vocals, and the drums. But yeah,
Have you got a drum track to give me the vibe of what you wanted?
I actually can. Yeah, I can send it to you.
I think 15th's got my email. If you can get my email off 15th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah.
I got you.
Nice one.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Awesome. Love it. Love all the collaborations.
Yeah. So the original song you guys probably heard from me, that's actually that 13-minute song is actually 5 songs put together, and this belongs somewhere in the middle. So that's the next song that I'm going to premiere. So again, hope you guys hated it.
That's awesome.
Could you play that one?
Sounded. I like Hugh's comment. Sounded nothing like ABBA. Anti, I know you appreciate that comment too. That's great. Thank you, Buzz.
Yeah, I'm hearing
Well, that
a
was
kind
awesome.
of.
Really glad you played live tonight. Avoid. I didn't think you were going to. Thank you so much.
Me neither. I mean, I guess people wanted it, so I said, fuck it.
Mama.
Yeah, it was nice. I'm hearing a Tesseract vibe in the beginning of that.
Oh, right on.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I try to do things where like these 2 notes are the same notes, and I love the minor second. But how do I get to that without sounding just weird? Well, I want to sound weird, but I kind of want to build to it, so I kind of come up with this.
Right, Anti.
And it just resolves
Yeah.
there. So I'm sure you could appreciate that. And then I like playing with the dynamics. Etc.
Nice.
I like that. That
Yeah, good to
reminds
see you,
me a little
Fetty.
bit of I don't know if anybody remembers the movie 28 Weeks Later, but the scene where he's like running down the knoll and like all the ragers are like running behind him is this like beautiful music that's kind of haunting. It's one of my favorites. It's like kind of haunting, but it grows increasingly more like rocky, you know, like, and that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Right, because they catch up to him and he's like
Right.
trying to escape and
Yeah, I like all the ominous stuff. Some of my biggest influences are actually movie soundtracks, like just scary movie soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Indy, it's gonna be 1 over here. I have work in the morning, so I gotta call it a night.
Yeah,
But
nothing. Grace, appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you to everyone on the panel, everyone in the chat, and I will see you soon.
been good hanging out, man.
Nice to
All
see you,
right.
brother.
Make
Thanks,
tomorrow a
brother.
good day.
Good night,
Take care,
15.
everyone. Have a good night.
All right. Well, Mr.
Uh-oh.
on my phone. I don't think this is working very well on my computer.
She cut in and out.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we got out to Mr. Smith and that you're on your phone. That's not working out.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
came back. It's good now.
Okay, real quick, Mr. Smith, will you play another song?
Yes, of course I will. Yeah,
All
go
right,
on.
awesome.
I'll
Okay, I'm gonna
cover you.
come
Don't
in through
worry.
my phone. Thank you.
Don't worry. I'll cover you. I'll cover you. Okay, yeah. So it's late for me actually. It's 10 to 6 in the morning. What am I doing behind a drum kit at 10 to 6 in the morning? There's something wrong with me, isn't there? But it's good to be here anyway. Well, this track is, I don't know whether any of you know, I do something called the stealth collaborations, and basically I find people on YouTube that have done a song and I supply the band, a bit like the folk and blueser thing. This guy's called Gray Smith, and the track is called Pen Lid for some reason. There you go.
You look at me in that glow. You got the need. Something inside telling me I'm unqualified. But I tried my luck with that goal. Will you say I suck? 'Cause maybe it's time. Luck is on my side. The whip is overtime. What can I say? What's on my mind? Can you be my summertime? I can tell it won't take long before I'm left out here alone. Something to make me shine. Need a gift to make you mine. Medicine to make me strong. Need a guns down here and give it. Come on, go, 'cause I need it. Give it, come on, go. Give it, come on, go, 'cause I want it. Beat it before. Tell the tree the things I hope for, but I can't reveal 'cause I'm not sure the wounds I make bleed. You won't forgive no shit. It's not how I wanna live. It's what I have now, and I'm so proud. 'Cause I put now I'm found. Can I say what's on my mind? Can you be my summertime? I can tell it won't take long before I'm left out here alone. Need something to make me shine. Need a gift to make you mine. Medicine to make me strong. Here it comes now, hear it. Give it, come on, go, 'cause I need it. Give it, come on, go. Give it, come on, go, 'cause I want it. Give it, come on, go. Give it, come on, go, 'cause I need it. Give it, come on, go. Give it, come on, go, 'cause I want it.
That was great. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
No problem. Thanks, Indy.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Mr.
Just
Smith,
about.
amazing.
Cheers, buddy.
Andy.
What were you going to say, Void?
I said, Mr. Smith, you're amazing, and yes, I can hear you, Indy.
Sorry for the glitches tonight, guys. I have no control over my internet.
I blame Ray.
Well, hell, my StreamYard just kind of glitched all out. The first part of Mr. Smith's song was like, it just started coming out blaring, and I was like, wow. And it was just that way. Then all of a sudden it went quiet, and I'm like, oh shit. And I even chimed in. I think I said, did we lose him? Because I thought it was, well, it wasn't. It was me. And then all of a sudden I pull up going, well, let me check my settings. And the minute I clicked that setting button, all of a sudden everything cleared up. So I don't know, StreamYard's acting goofy.
Yeah, I think it's probably a combination of things on my end, but we're still going. Here we are. Thanks for holding it together, everybody.
Mine crashed earlier too.
Hey,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
It's midnight for me, Indy, so I think I'm going to hop down.
Okay.
Get me some
Thank you so much for being here, Rescue. Love you, brother.
I love you too, sis.
Always good to see you, Rescue.
Good to see y'all, Mr. Smith. It was really awesome to hear you play again, sir.
Thanks, Rescue. It's always good to be on the panel with you. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. Everybody in chat.
Great conversation tonight.
Y'all.
Thanks, Brian.
Yes,
y'all have a great night. Make tomorrow a good day. Choice is yours.
Yes, sir.
Later, sis. Love y'all.
God bless.
Love you too. Good night. All right, and Landon and Tiff put in a comment they needed to jump down. Thank you so much, Landon and Tiff, for being here. I really appreciate it. Always good to see you guys and get to have conversations. Love it.
Yeah, thank you, Indy. Thank you for having me up here.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for being up here, and thanks for playing. I know that was kind of impromptu, so I appreciate it.
No, it's okay. I wish I was more prepared, but maybe next time I will.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, anytime you want to come up and play, please do.
Cool.
Bran, are you able to share a video if I put it in the private chat?
I'll see what I can do.
Okay, let me see if I can even do that. I'm trying to do it from my computer. I'm on my StreamYards on my phone, so I don't know what I sound like, but we'll keep trying to go for a little bit longer here. I usually don't stream from my phone, so it's kind of weird. Well, what else is going on with everybody? Any conversations we need to be talking about? Any topics you guys want to discuss?
I mean, we can always
talk
talk
about
about aliens.
Yeah, I might leave you to that, Indy. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, so if I start talking about deep things, I'll get myself into trouble.
Yeah, understood. I mean, anytime that can happen, but
yeah, I'm quite adept at getting myself into trouble, so probably best not to do it live on YouTube, eh?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of what we're about here, though. But all right, have a good night, Mr. Smith. And it is really good to hear you play again. I'm really glad you've got your studio set up and you're back at it.
Likewise.
Thank you, Indy, and thanks for the opportunity as well.
Of course. Yeah, you're always welcome.
All right.
Have a good night.
Take care, everybody.
Take care.
Cheers. Good night.
Nice to meet you.
Cheers, bud.
Good night.
And then there were
all right, well, I'm 2.5. I think I'm the half at this point, but
no, I'm the half.
Kind of in and out and not really sure what's happening. I don't know where I'm listening to anything.
If you're half and I'm half, then I guess this is just two then.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, if I can pull up a link, I'll try to share it with you guys. Did you want to play anything else? Avoid or?
I was thinking maybe we can play my song on YouTube. And I want to shamelessly plug my Bandcamp, but I think I need the wrench. Or just development of a void.
Oh yeah, I can give you a wrench. I can get to it.
Yeah.
Will you put a comment in the chat if you haven't recently, and I will. I can mod you, but yeah, and then if you can drop the link, or if you can share, I don't know if you can share from your screen, Avoid.
I'll figure it out.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I can probably grab your link actually.
Okay, give me one.
No, I'm not trying to hide you.
That's okay. You can hide me.
There you go.
I'm not even here, so it wouldn't be too hard to hide me. Okay, hold on.
All right, I can go to your channel and grab your link and put it in.
Yeah, that's the link. I hope that's the link. Hopefully I didn't give you raise. Okay.
All right. And then, Brand, if you can grab that link, or if you want to try to share it, Avoid from your end.
I wouldn't know how.
Okay.
I guess I can try and figure it out.
I can tell you how to do it. It's not hard to do if you have a good connection. But
I'm not seeing
He put it in the chat. I'll grab it and put
Oh,
it in
in
the
YouTube chat.
private.
Oh, share screen. Oh, do you have it? You got it?
All right,
Thank
I
you,
just put it
Anti.
in the private chat there, Bran.
Anti, you're the best. Anti ad check.
Okay, it's pretty amazing.
I didn't
Thank you
even
for
have
all
to
the
show him
likes,
anything. He
Anti,
just
and for
found
being
it.
here.
Yeah, this is
Cookie says she doesn't see you. What's that? What's that about?
because I'm not even here. Her eyes are
Oh,
working.
the shadow.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about that. What Wolf was telling
And
me.
Doug
That,
pointed out that you're in the fire pit. I
yeah.
did notice, but it was during a serious moment that 15th was back into 15th chair.
Oh, I see that.
All right. All right, what do you want to tell us about this before it plays the void?
That I hope you guys hate it. And this is a story of it's based on a true story of a caveman and an alien falling in love and their shadow separating them. And it kind of speaks for itself a little bit. Like I said, this is actually 5 songs put into one, and every song is a particular length. But this one, I guess I'll leave that a secret. But hope you guys enjoy
I
it.
would think of it like a rock opera.
Yeah, it's an opera. It's definitely dramatic, and it's meant to go through a wave of emotions, canyons, ups and downs, mostly
Mhm.
downs. But I hope you guys hate it.
All right, thank you.
In the stars I see barbarian king, blocked by cosmic rays, left astray, forsaken. He wants to be reborn without sun, but left to stay isolated. She drew her visions in his own light from galaxies so far away. Put your cream. voice is my favorite kind. What to make of life mystery? So gaslight getting closer from each scene. Do whatever expects them to move it. Get closer for me to think. This doesn't make any sense to me. What a wretched spell like an inconsistent. Why was you compelled to the just a run is all that I want. That's that I'll keep to myself. I found it every step. Who would be so with me? I'll never learn. Hey boy, Wilson, slow messages from a discourse. It only pretends. Moses, the sneaky bee, radio. What makes this conduct? Hey, Lydia. It's a scout. Bring back the fire on this boat. Down. With your brain lost into promiscuity. I come from galaxies so far beyond your waves. Your consciousness can't comprehend. And still I found the beauty in your eyes. I foolishly believe your simple mannish ways. Hopes and dreams, they get it now. Deepest secrets live. You're the only one who encouraged me. Understood me well, oh well. Doesn't mean you care. You're not from the start. Your love was so weak, so fucking weak.
Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't mean to put you through hell like that. The quality just it dropped. What are you gonna do? Indy, you're on mute. I don't know if you're talking. I guess this is
Yeah,
my show now.
sorry. That's
That's good.
probably a bit of my fault.
It
No, it's
sounded
okay.
okay on my end, but which is ironic.
I checked
Like-
it. I checked it on the actual stream, and it doesn't sound good there. Like it drops.
Oh,
the
okay.
quality. But I mean, it's what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I am listening to StreamYard, so I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. And that's a long one. That's a long one too to have that dip in the.
Sorry guys, I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh, I can hear it on my phone. It's going right. It's going great. But yeah, it's because I'm listening to the StreamYard, not on the YouTube. And
At least the chat was like having fun, so that's fine.
yeah. All right. Well, you guys, please check out the link. It is a great song. I mean, seriously, how do you even begin to put something like that together, Avoid? Like, it's incredible to me.
Well, first you want the people to hate it. That's the first rule. And apparently I succeeded, I think. But no, it's I don't know. That song I wrote it 10 years ago. But it all came together in about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so and that's just a story. I kind of wanted to play this whenever Wolf was here because he has a different approach. He just picks up the guitar and plays and records and that's it. It's like I wish I could do that, but it takes me a long time. I'm very meticulous about every part, every time signature, every tempo,
Mm-hmm.
every chord, everything has to make sense. That is the final product, but that song has like maybe I don't know how many revisions, maybe 20. Like I have
Yeah.
the files of all the ones that didn't make it. This is the one that made it, and even then,
You
it's
have
like, I can make it better.
right. I was gonna say, do you have a hard time going back and listening to songs and wishing you made changes or that you could still work on them? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that doesn't go away. This one, I only hear the song whenever it's like on a stream. I never want to hear the song ever again. But whenever it's on a stream, it's like okay, I'll listen to it again, and then that's when it's like, damn it, I should have done this, I should have done that. I think pretty much every musician has that, except Wolf. He's just an anomaly. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone's arts. Like we all battle through this
Mm-hmm.
struggle. Like it could always be better because you know it can be, and that's the thing. Something can always be better, but you have to
Right.
abandon it. You have to let it go,
Yeah.
so something else can come
I
forth.
don't write songs, but in my own art or
You're still an artist.
writing or things like that, yeah, I definitely always want to go back and like touch it up or like do something a little bit different, So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like I'd be like that with music too.
yeah. And that's what
Anti
Version
says,
2 is for. Oh, good.
will you please tell Devoid that sucked? To hate it would validate it.
Oh,
And I
thank you.
threw
Yeah.
up.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, nice.
Try not to die.
Lots of hate from Anti.
Yeah. Thank you for the hate, Anti.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Anti's the best.
All
Yeah, this
right.
was.
Well, I think I'm going to end here, you guys, pretty soon because it's just it's really like a mess on my end.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, but Bran, there is one more song there. If you're able to share, we can kind of do that as an outro, I guess. It's a remix of the Oliver Anthony song with let me see if I can look up his name. What's his name? Chris Webby. He does the Raw Thoughts songs, and it's really good. But
Right
let me
on.
see. All right. Yeah. Thanks, Bran. So thank you so much. Thanks to Void. Thank you, Bran, for sticking with me throughout the night.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody who came up on panel and everybody who shared their music and their thoughts. And thank you to everybody
Yeah.
in chat
Anytime.
for being here and hanging
I
out.
want. I want to say
Always look.
special. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I just want to say, Lady Campion. I hope you recover, and I hope everything
Hmm.
gets better because you deserve it, and everybody
Yeah.
loves you.
Yep. I know she was listening in for part of the night. I hope she's sleeping now
Yeah,
and
you
getting
need to
some
get your
rest.
rest. Catch the replay.
Yep.
Well, it's over
Exactly.
now, so it's whatever.
But yeah, definitely. Our thoughts and prayers are with Lady Campion, and and it's hard to get a good night's rest in the hospital. So
Oh yeah, I bet the only thing she wants to do is get on her phone and like check this out because hospitals are
I
scary.
yeah. Well,
But
and
she's
they're
strong. She's strong.
all the noises and all that jazz, and people, nurses always coming to check on you like right after you fall asleep.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
inevitable.
yeah. Exactly.
So yep. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. Much love to you all. Enjoy this song, and then we will go ahead and end it. I'm gonna look real quick and see if anybody else is live. I might put it in the chat to do a little room raid if somebody else is going. And if you know of somebody live that's a great channel that people here would like, go ahead and put that in. Oh, actually, I think I know. I think I do know. I believe Axe and Nacho are live
Nachos.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nachos. Yep.
They have a great channel, really great people, really, really fun live.
They
That's probably where I'm heading next. So
they are some of the most fun and just
yeah, I know.
spontaneous.
I'm bummed we stream at the same
I
time.
know. But
It just, I know it just works out that way. This is like the time that works for me, and it's obviously the time that works for them. And I think they've been doing this time for a long time. But I do start an hour earlier, and I was thinking I might see if they can come up maybe at the beginning of one of my streams before they go live.
Yeah.
So, but please go check them out, and I'll put the link in there if Anti hasn't already.
I'm looking at his channel right now, and he's in the clouds playing the guitar with his
Yeah, somebody
sunglasses
said they
on.
look like Care Bears when they do that, and I can't get it out of my mind.
Yeah,
So now
go
whenever I
check
see
it
him in
out.
the
He's
clouds,
amazing. Yeah, he's right now. He's looking for us.
love it. All right. Have a good night, everybody. We are stronger together. Let's keep these conversations happening. Thanks for a great night. Oh, okay. I thought I was muted, but I'm not.
No,
I'm muted on somebody. I'm not. I was like, oh, no kidding. I'm like saying all
You
this.
gotta
And I'm
start
muted.
over.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Bran.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. People like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an old soul. The rich men know the rich men, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
Yeah, give me freedom or give me death. To that we pledge allegiances. We the people had enough, it's time we aired our grievances against these treasonous demons. So raise the alarm, cause the pigs are fully taken over on this animal farm. Don't know anymore, this world's gotten too cold to ignore. Shit, is it 2023 or 1984? Thought police up at my door to open fire on me, but I'd rather die on my feet than survive on my knees. And please, we know how they looking at us from up at the top. The tougher they made it for us, the fucking tougher we got. They thought they'd keep us scared forever, but fuck it, we not. We'll send them back to north of Richmond in some cuffs or a box. Bow.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. For people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men know the rich men, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control.
Behind the politicians, there's a far more sinister villain that's power-driven. Only answer to money is their religion. They controlling the way that we live in, keeping us mentally stuck in a prison, so that the fire they know is rebellion never can spread whenever it's risen. But they've been seeing us waking up, and now they fucking afraid. As we the people get to seeing through their fucking charade, we're being played by these elites who would rather see us enslaved, as they lead us by the hand where the land's dug with a grave. And they could kill our character through stories they publish, or they'll just murder us and brand it as suicide to the public, or an accidental overdose. Print the story, run it, say it's fact so people trust it, accept it, and move on from it. But it's time to pick a side and get to striking a nerve. In any way we're able, I'm fighting this fight with my words. And if they keep pushing, then fuck it, we inciting the purge. And just to think, all we wanted was the rights we deserve.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. For people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men know the rich men, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. Your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, cause the rich men, cause the rich men